on. Yo, welcome, Ryan. Cameron
Hey.
Gaming in the building.
Let's
Dude, you had me
go.
cracking up in the comments of the last one.
I know. I mean, VTice can't hold up to me. What can I say?
He said, you were like, yo, he's just the warm
He's
up.
the opener.
He's
Yep,
the opener. Like, it's a comedy show. And it's definitely going to be fun because if anyone's been in your streams, man, you're very lighthearted, which is nice.
Yeah, I try to be.
So how you feeling about it so far, though? You nervous?
About this?
Yeah.
A little bit. It feels like an interview. I feel
Does
like,
it really?
Yeah.
It'll just be
Like,
a conversation.
Am I going to get the job after? I'm interviewing to be the side, what is it called? Like the second host, you know? Like me and Yugi 601, you know?
Hey, there we go.
That's what I'm saying.
Yugi Gaming. Dude, so talk to me, man. Like, how's everything been? I know you've been working real hard. My man's been working hard on that basement.
A little too hard.
No, man. I think it's gonna come out nice if
Yeah.
what you're showing me is legit. Yeah, man. I mean, talk to me. How's that process been?
It's a mess right now, so that's the process right now. Just still organizing stuff. I can maybe show you guys a little bit.
Oh,
Got a mess though.
no, you
as you guys can see.
So that's it right there.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm in the basement. Yeah.
I couldn't even tell with the lighting. I guess it was the same as the last one.
Yep, I have all the lights off. Just got my LED lights going, LED strips.
Right.
Yeah, man, just getting everything ready before the baby. That's the deal.
August 17th. I think I remember the date.
Yep.
Look at that.
August
Oh,
17th.
I got this.
I know.
That's
Does his homework, man. Does his homework.
You know, a little bit. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't know you're a rapper. There's a lot.
I am a rapper.
He is a rapper.
Whoa.
Might be Nebraska's best.
Maybe I'll have to give you guys a sneak peek of the next song.
Dude, walk me through that. Please.
Making a rap song?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
geez, I don't even.
You just said, you know what, I'm just going to do it, or?
Well, so actually, OPJ was making a rap song, and then I was like, you know, that seems like fun. That seems quite a bit of fun. So I worked on one too. And honestly, it was just like making beats on, it's called Soundtrap. It's owned by Spotify, but not sponsored. It's just like a free music service. They have free beats and stuff like that I just hooked up and then made it sound good enough and then just sung over it, coming up with lyrics and stuff. Like, it's as easy as that. And I was like, I want to come up with a music video for this. But yeah, it was just messing around and making a new one that just for the past like year now. But that beat was actually made by another YouTuber. This new beat was actually produced. But I don't know. My singing's just so bad. It probably won't turn out good.
Yo, you had me cracking up. When I saw that, I couldn't believe it. Because I was just, you know, I like to scroll through and check out everybody's videos, see what they did. Really, you got a sense of humor, man. You're really funny. You're more funny than I think people understand. Rocket Reague on some of the end of your shorts.
I was going to wear my Rocket Reague shirt, but I opted for the Cameron Gaming one.
Dude, I didn't know you had merch, bro. We got
I do have some merch, but yeah, not too much. Just Rocket Reague merch and Cameron Gaming merch.
Rocket Reague.
Yeah.
So you've been playing Rocket League since launch, or you've been getting into it recently? Like, how long?
So it was actually like 2 to 3 months after it came out. My friend bought it, and I was like, dude, why are you buying this game? It's dead already. You know, I was like, nobody's going to be playing this now. It's 3 months past. The new game's going to be out next. And it was $20 still. I was like, nah. I honestly just like, then I had fun playing with my friend for a while. And I was like, okay, I'm going to buy it. Bought it in 2016.
Wow.
Got to gold, or like challenger, but it was gold. I was like, I made it. I proved myself. I got gold. Like, no, I proved myself. I'm a gamer. So I quit. I quit Rocket League for like, I don't know. It had to be like a year, 2 years. And then a friend at work brought in his PlayStation, and he's like, he was diamond at the time. And he's like, hey, how about you guys 2v1 me? And I was like, no way you can 2v1 us. The kickoffs are just so random. And he would beat us like 50% of the time 2v1ing us. And I told him, I said, you know, if I try to get good at this game, I will get good. And then he said, okay, whatever. So I started playing again and got like super into it with these guys that I played Fortnite with, and just pretty much haven't stopped playing since. So pretty funny.
Dude,
And
right?
now I'm way higher ranked. So
There you go. Get wrecked, coworker. Talking that smack. He didn't know about Cameron Gaming. Yo, that's a funny story. So was there like, what did he say? What was his response when he was like, oh wait, he actually is built different?
We started playing together a lot, and we were like the same level for a long time, but then they kind of like dwindled off playing while I just kept playing. But I just think I was just more addicted.
Yeah.
So,
well, some people
like
get disheartened, man. Like in my experience playing with some friends, like they get kind of upset when you start doing a little too well, and then they want to move on because they're not the top dog anymore. Is that, I don't know. Has that been
it's definitely a hard thing. I mean, it's hard because you lose, not like you lose friendships, but you lose, like, if you're way better than everyone else that you're friends with, it's like hard to play with them unless you like Smurf, of course. But even Smurfing, like your accounts rank up so quickly that I don't know, you just have to keep making new accounts and stuff. So
right.
they don't have as much fun because you guys aren't all at the same level. But.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like they can do about that in terms of the rank system. They just have to catch up to you, or
yeah, or you just play casuals. But then you hear people that, like, if you're a ranked guru, you're like, that's a waste of time playing casuals. You know.
Yeah, I've ran into you, OPJ, and the only other person I know, which I need your help. We'll get into it. I don't want to jump into it just yet.
Okay.
But the only other person that I know who plays Rocket League is Pixels.
Okay. Yes.
I need you to get in his ear, to get him on here, man.
I think it's like,
this is just Cameron. He just wants to check out his eyes, guys. That's all.
Yeah.
You do got some nice ass eyes, though. No homo.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I mean, I get told that. Like, honestly, I have some funny stories about that. I don't know if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, talk about whatever you want, man.
Okay, so like the funny thing is I told my wife this the first time, well, like when I was young, like even in the hospital when I was like, I don't know if it was, I think I was getting stitches because I ran into the furnace. Not a whole nother story.
Holy.
As a kid running around hits the furnace, right? Needs stitches.
Of course.
Another mom that was there who had a kid named Cameron as well. She's like, you have beautiful eyes, right? I think that was like the first time I heard it, like when I was like probably 4 or something. I didn't really hear it again too much, but then I was going on my friend's bachelor party in Las Vegas, and we are in just like the airplane terminal waiting to board the flight, and this lady, probably in her 40s, she's like, hey, I know this is going to sound super weird, but you have really beautiful eyes. And I'm just like, oh, thanks. Like, I don't know what to say to that, you know? And her husband is sitting right next to her like this, like, yeah, like just palming his face, like, oh my God. I was like, okay, like, you know, maybe that's a one-off coincidence. And then I'm just driving through McDonald's in where I was going to school, college. I was driving through a McDonald's, like a 20-something-year-old girl's like, you have really beautiful eyes. And I'm like, the funny thing is, that's not the first time I've heard that at this point. And then, you know, my wife thinks I'm making up these stories, you know.
But now she can replay this. I said it too.
Okay, she thinks I'm making up the stories. We go to Home Depot, and this, she was probably in her 30s, working the self-checkout. She's like, you have the most beautiful, or she's like, do you come here often? And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I never go to Home Depot. Like, I've like never been here. And she's like, do you come here often? And she's like, I know I wouldn't forget those eyes. And like, whoa, all this stuff. I was like, is it with my wife right next to me? I'm like, see, I don't make up these stories.
Dude, what?
But, yeah, you're not the only one, Yugi.
Yo,
I appreciate it, man.
No problem. Yo, Cameron, you're getting rizzed up, man.
I know. I think it's the lashes and the blue eyes, you know?
Yeah. That's something that my wife always be telling me too. She's like, she gets upset that guys have better lashes than girls sometimes.
Yeah.
And she'll be like, are you serious? I just want them. I was like, you can have them. I don't know, man.
I think you got a better hairline than me, though. You got the better hairline, the better beard.
I just started growing it recently. It's a whole process I didn't understand, man.
Yeah,
I've been trying. It made me look a little older. I was looking at my like beginning of my Resident Evil playthrough. I was like, that's a baby boy right there. It just gives you a little more, you know what I mean? A little more
Yeah.
lion.
My wife like always wants me to shave, but then I'm like, I look like I'm 15. That's what everyone says on stream.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
45, he's 15. He's 45, he's 15.
Hey, but either way, you still know how to have fun though. Not to kind of
Yeah.
go back to it, man. Like one of the things also that I like that you do a lot is at the end of your streams you do a funny face. Dude, it gets me every time. Yo, we crack up.
That actually I got from a YouTuber I made a logo for a long time ago.
Mm.
Which we can talk about. That's a whole nother thing, but because I'm assuming you want to know how I got into YouTube, but that
Absolutely.
that would be kind of part of that story, I guess. But yes, he's a bigger streamer now, like 500K subs. He always does that. He always did like a freeze face. But so I just learned that you can do that. So just do a funny face.
There you go. Do a funny face. It adds a
True.
little pizzazz to the ending. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie. I'm still working on it. I'm still learning. But that's the one thing you do that sticks out more than the rest. I appreciate it.
I know another streamer that I'm like acquaintances with, friends with. He does like his does like a freeze frame and then goes into like inspirational quotes going across, and it's super funny.
Okay.
Like black and white's his like screen and like drifts off. Then inspirational quotes go by. It's pretty funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Have you done this before?
Done podcasts?
Yeah, like a podcast or an interview or anything like that. No,
I
really.
mean, for jobs, interviews for jobs,
but nothing like with another YouTuber.
Nah, I mean, I've like, I'll get on a phone call with OPJ, like, hey, let's talk about this. And then we'll be on a call for like till 4 a.m.
Yeah.
And we're like, this was only supposed to be a 15-minute call.
He seems to have a lot of personality, so
Yeah.
I can understand how that would happen. Yeah, I haven't had many interactions with him, but I've kind of skimmed through his channel. I think he's in some of the Discords. I haven't talked to him yet. I'm sure I'd love to. If he's anything if he's any similar like you, I'm sure it's a good time. But
yeah,
I'm glad
he's a little bit younger. I think he's like 19. So
wow.
But his brothers also have a YouTube channel, a Pokemon channel. But yeah, he'd be a good one to talk to, and I think he's like super driven in general. Like I've always told him, like, if anyone's gonna make it on YouTube, it's him.
Yeah.
Like he's like making videos constantly, shorts, cutting them into shorts.
Yeah.
And always doing it with personality, like never just doing a cookie cutter thing.
Yeah.
Highly edited. He's even like paying for his thumbnails now to make sure they're like being the best that they can, like checking click-through rates, making sure, like studying it all. So I don't know. I think he's gonna go far, but
yeah, he's serious about it.
Yeah.
That's good. That's awesome. Great for him, man. We love to see it.
Yeah. For me, it's more of a hobby, but we can get into that too.
Yeah, of course. I understand. Yeah. I mean, dude, and I'm happy to be the first, man. This is dope.
Yeah.
We out here. Okay.
I know.
Well, hey, it's like a casual
VTice
conversation.
hasn't invited me yet. What's that about?
Dude, do we gotta lay into my man real quick? Because I would remind him, but getting a hold of him is like finding Sasquatch, bro.
I know, I swear. I'll text him. He'll text me 3 weeks later.
Yeah, literally, yo. I'm like, it is what it is. But I know he talked about it last time about getting back into it, talking to Super Rocker and all that. So we'll see. We won't hold our breath, but it'd be nice to see him do it. I think he did a good job. So
yeah.
But I'm glad to have you here, man. Door's always open for you if you need anything. If you ever want to stop on by, it's here. So just at ease.
Same, man.
Yeah, absolutely. But let's start from the beginning.
Yeah,
and then I got you, man.
Rewind.
You. Of course. No, don't listen, man. We got plenty of time. How much time do you have? Do you have any?
Till I usually try to get off at 11.
Okay.
So
that'll be like 12 my time. Oh, that's.
But even then, I'm even more fun. I can anything for you, Yugi. I'll stay up till 2 a.m. if you want me to.
I don't want you to get in trouble now.
You're gonna think this album will say like 11, and you're like, oh, plenty of time, and then we'll be on till 4 a.m. because I will talk about anything.
Let's go
forever.
Okay,
forever.
Good. All right. Let's walk through it then. So, hey, no worries, man. I love this anyway. So, yeah, let's start from the beginning. When did you start? What got you to start? Let's start there, and then I'll walk through the rest. Go ahead.
So, interesting enough, like I even learned about streaming. Like I never watched streamers really until I think it had to be 2014, 2015. I was really into watching Mario Maker.
Hmm.
I don't know if you know what that is.
Of course, of
but
course, of course.
I was super into watching it and never played it. It
Hmm.
just like amazed me how good people can get at that game.
Yeah.
And there's a couple big people I watched. I don't know if you've heard of like Carl Sagan 42,
Okay.
Reague,
Okay.
a couple Grand Pooh Bear. Some of the bigger creators, like Grand Pooh Bear is even sponsored by Red Bull and stuff, like
Wow.
bigger creators.
Yeah, yeah.
I watched them and I was like, well, I want to watch like a stream and I want to watch someone like who's small, because I wanted someone that, like, just like our viewers, they like to talk to us. So I was looking at small streamers playing Mario Maker, and I found this guy named DGR. Uh, his name originally was Dan Good Repairs, because his like father-in-law owned it, did repairs of old consoles, stuff like that. And after watching him for a while, he raided someone, and this is like when I learned about what raids were too. He raided someone named Briley Games, and so who was playing like Gauntlet Dark Legacy at the time. So I was watching him, and then him, and I showed up to every one of their streams, like watching everyone. I was a mod in both their channels and stuff. And then basically both of them kind of convinced me, like, oh, you should start streaming, because I played games with them here or there, or hung out with them. And I was like, okay, I'll try streaming. I buy an Elgato because that's what I knew. I only had an Xbox. I didn't have like a PC. And so I had an Xbox and a laptop, but my laptop was a Mac. So I plug it in, and I'm super excited starting up stream. And this was right when like DGR was getting a little bit bigger. When I started following him, he was like under 2,000. He was getting to like 5 to 10,000 at the time, and he had 100 people watching him or something. He raids me on my first stream where I'm playing RuneScape, old school RuneScape, as a test stream, and my my mic is cutting in and out, not working. The graphics are freezing, like my computer can't handle streaming or anything. I have 100 people in my stream. So I'm like panicking. Like first day, I mean, I gained like, I think it was, I want to say like 77 subs, 87 subs or something, which is a ton. Like, as you guys know, first 100 super hard to get. So tons of subs. And then I try streaming again. Next time I bought a Wii U so I could stream Mario Kart. So I made a video called, or a stream called My Wife Beats Me, and then it was a Mario Kart stream. We're playing Mario Kart, and I'm getting frustrated. Headphones cutting out, computer freezing. I could only stream on 480, so it was like a square, not a rectangle. And so I'm just like, I'm getting like so mad that I just want to throw everything to the ground and not having fun with it at all. So I end up quitting at like 115 subscribers. Like for 4 or 5 years,
Wow.
pretty much, I just quit. And I was like, no, I'm done. This is more frustrating. I bought a $275 Elgato and just quit.
Right. Wow.
So, yeah. And so after we got the house, COVID was happening. So I was like, I saved up money to go to Italy. The Italy trip got canceled due to COVID, and I had that money now. And so I bought a computer with it, and I said, well, I got this Elgato, I got this computer, I got an Xbox, hooked them all up and started streaming again after having all that equipment. And I actually started just streaming variety games, and I set a goal out when I first started streaming. I want 20 views on a stream, otherwise I'm taking it down. I said I don't want any stream under 20 views. So I told my friends, I started a Facebook group and invited all my friends who I think might be interested in watching me. Invited like my brothers, like I was still in a Discord group with like my brothers and close friends. So they would show up to stream, and I would have like 7 people watching me that just would be family and friends. And then I would mostly be playing games with like my brothers. So like Phasmophobia, we actually got really into early on in the stream. So like 2 years, this is like 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. Yeah, Phasmophobia. I played a little bit of RuneScape still. I was just trying a bunch of random games, and I was already into Rocket League, like we were just talking about. So I tried playing Rocket League, and that was the first stream that hit like 60 to 80 views. I wasn't at 20, I was at 60 to 80. I was like, maybe I figured something out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, so then I kept playing Rocket League more, and I was like, I should try to set goals. Like, I think I was champ 1 at the time on Rocket League, or like Diamond 3 when I started playing, and I got to like Grand Champ within like a season or two, like of trying to get my YouTube channel off. And so a lot of like playing with viewers and stuff, and I noticed that I could consistently start getting 60 to 80 views every time I played that, and then I would get reoccurring people too. Like I was like, these people are coming back and hanging out during my fast streams, or like all these other streams I was playing with like my brothers and stuff. So the funny thing is, after I started back up, I never didn't break that 20 view mark. But yeah, I never got under the 20 view mark, and I was always super proud of that, and like could keep all my VODs up because of that.
Yeah. Do you feel like that really motivated you? Like, all right,
I think it did. Yeah. I think it did at first, and then I did have a blow. Like this is something just continuing on the story.
Sure.
Rocket League released when they released the game, they had this thing called like the Skyline. It was from the Fast and Furious movies. Then they were re-releasing it after not releasing it since the beginning of the game. So then I put that in my thumbnail, like Fast and Furious coming back. And I thought it was coming back at midnight. So I was streaming from like 8 p.m. I mean. And so I was streaming, and all of a sudden I'm just playing with my friends, waiting till 12, playing with my friends. And I see, 80 viewers watching me all at once. Like concurrent viewers, 80. No one rated me or anything. I was like, this is the highest number I have ever been at. I take out my phone, taking pictures of it. I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. Start just playing with my friend again, talking to the people who are in chat. It's like 120 people. I'm like, what the heck? Take out my phone again, screenshot, trying to take in I'm trying to find what the biggest number was in my chat. And the closer and closer we get to midnight, the number kept growing. And I think the highest we had at one time was like 487 people in my chat at once. And this was when I was at 267 subscribers.
What the heck?
And I was like, this is crazy. Like the chat's like this.
Yeah, just going crazy.
And everyone's like, when's it coming out? I was like, I think it's 12. And then some people were like, no, it's coming out at 7 a.m. Some people are like, everyone's arguing when it's coming out, what I'm doing. So I just start running customs, letting everyone play.
Yeah.
But I stayed on till like 2 a.m. because the stream was going so well. Still had like 200 to 300 people in my stream.
Wow.
I had to work in the morning, and I stayed up till 2 a.m. So I'm pushing the limits already, 2 to 3 a.m.
Yeah.
And so I end stream probably with like 100 people still in my stream, end stream, and I go to bed. And I my subscriber gain, I was at 267. I gained up to like 680.
Wow.
Or something in a day, like just a day. And I was like, dang it, I probably could have hit 1K if I just would have streamed an all-nighter and just been super tired of work. And but I was like, oh well, I would have had to get the hours anyways. Not that big of a deal. And I got 500 view hours from that stream alone too.
That's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. So I wanted to continue on that hype. So I did a 24-hour Rocket League only stream. That weekend, right after that, I did a 24-hour stream, and I think I averaged 1,000 views per 12 hours, so which was big. Like, I got 14,000 on that one stream.
That's
14,000, yeah. So just absolutely crazy. So after that, I think I was getting like 200 views a stream, and I think my expectations went up after that.
Right. You were like, yo, like, this
no
is
more
it.
20 views.
Yeah, you were like, your boy made it.
Now it's like at least 100. If I'm not getting at least 100 now, but now how I think about it's completely different. I just think like if I have a good time, I don't care to grow like exponentially.
Yeah.
Something I've talked to a lot of people too is like, I know people are getting like big raids and then growing 600 to 1,000 subs in one night. Like, I think that's really cool, but I feel like you don't build a community off like just one big growth.
Correct.
You get a lot more people coming back on the slow growth. So I don't know. So I don't think it's like I don't look at those big growths. Out of those 400 people that subscribed, probably only like 10 to 20 of them I've seen since. So
Yeah, that's
like,
that's facts. Like I was telling in the last pod I did with V, I was talking about how like a big Fall Guys creator was like, I don't want to be giving Yugi no free clout. I was like, no, don't.
yeah.
Actually, don't. Like, you can be who you are because they're sub to you for a reason. I want people to sub to me for me, not because they expect me to be you. You know, so you're 100% right on the money on that. Like, when do you feel like you figured that out? Like you said, okay, I see what's going on here, because everybody's journey is different. You know what I mean?
I think I was just like, I feel like you somewhat have like a jealousy of people that get like a huge raid and then they gain all those subscribers, or people are always like, how'd you gain 600 subscribers like that? Like, a lot of people are asking me that, but then like just seeing the return on the numbers afterwards, I was like, you know what, it doesn't matter. Like, the slow growth, if you have 10 to 20 people showing back up to your stream every day that you built over time, is a lot more important than someone getting 1,000 subs that never show back up.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then like, also, like, this is a whole nother topic, but like, people who just do shorts, and then I know at least 2 Rocket League people. I'm not going to say names because I don't want to call anybody out, because I do like them too. I do think they're good creators, but they're good creators, very good players too. They'll have 2 to 4 people watching their streams, but they have almost like anywhere from 5 to 20K subs just off shorts. So they have 5 to 20K subs with 2 to 4 people watching. Like, what's the point then?
Yeah. Yeah, that's fascinating. I wonder. I guess, yeah, because like the shorts market is so fascinating to me. I keep seeing people, at least those that I talk to, you know, in my immediate like friend circle, family circle. It's so mixed, but the people that watch shorts just watch shorts. I don't really hear a lot of like, I watch live streams on YouTube, unfortunately. Obviously, you know,
Okay,
I would rather it change with time, but it's either you know what I mean? It's either one or the other. I never seen like a mix of all three. I never seen like, yeah, I like to watch videos, shorts, lives, and like, no. It's usually like somebody sticks to one form, you know?
And yeah, one of the guys I was just talking about, I was talking to him about that a little bit, and he said like he's the type of person that would he's hit like 2 or 3 in the millions of views on his shorts. And he says like once one of your things hits 1 million, the rest of your shorts will hit 40K. Like, essentially, all those will be shared to the people who hit that first video, that 1 million.
Right.
And then all your other videos, like at least quite a bit of them, will hit 40K views.
Yeah.
And he was mentioning too, like, he's like, maybe 1 out of every 100 person will come and see your stream. So every 1 in 100 subscribers will come see your stream.
Yeah.
So that's at least his math from what he's seen. But also, seeing your stream is that returning all the time? It doesn't seem like it.
Right.
But
okay.
But I don't necessarily think you should stay away from shorts. I do think it's the quickest way to grow right now.
Yeah. It's almost like a good side at a restaurant. You know what I mean? You should always have that good side, and shorts are a great side. You can't go wrong with it.
Yeah, and kind of what you and VTice were saying is like, who do you go sub to? Who do you go watch? Is it the person with the higher number of subscribers or the lower number of subscribers?
Yeah.
So even if it just influenced other people to subscribe to you, then it was already worth doing.
Right.
Even if the people aren't returning. But
yeah. I personally see them more as like almost like an advertising tool. You know, because I was able to get to people that I'd never seen before in my channels with some of the podcast clips, and hopefully that continues. We'll see, man. You can only put in what you can only put in as much, and then hope to goodness you get something back, because YouTube's weird, but that's a different topic. Anyway, so to continue on topic, so you did that, you've got the feeling of it. Why continue live streaming? Why continue making content? What made you say, all right, I'm gonna actually like stick with it this time instead of just backing away? Because I've been in a similar situation. I tried it a little bit.
Yeah.
Had a really not a horrible experience. Just my expectations weren't where they should have been. And I expected, that it was easy. It's not easy. So I took a break as well. Like, but what made you say, all right, I'm actually stick with it this time?
Yeah, so the funny thing is I set a goal for myself the first year I started streaming. I'm going to stream every day. And the hard thing about that, it got to the point where I was going to work, I would come home and try to like mow or do my chores quick, and then I would watch a show with my wife and eat within like an hour, and then I would be streaming for the rest of the night. And that was like every day. And weekends I would be up till, 10 to 12, 10 to 2 a.m. streaming. So I ended up getting really burnt out. Like, and that's why I switched to only 3 days a week now. Like, I only stream 3 days a week. And I think just setting that goal for myself kept me going the first year, even though a lot of the times I was like, I don't want to do this. I got to 3 times a week. I felt better. Like, I was like, oh, I feel better about this. I feel like I have more energy or want to do this more because I thought about it all week. And even now, I feel like, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I feel like like 1 out of the 3 days, I'm like, gosh, do I have to stream today? Like it feels like almost like a chore where I'm like, I just wish I could go hang out with my family and not feel like, oh, I have to leave. It's 10 because I have to stream and I'm going to be up till 2 a.m. now because I have to turn on the camera and stream or play games.
Right.
And I do feel like there's days where I'm like, I mean, most days, even right now, I'm like, no games sound fun to me. That's something I've found recently too. And I'm like, if I turn on Rocket League, I'm going to get bored really fast, or people aren't going to want to see me play ranked. They just want to play customs. I have been playing Fall Guys. I think Fall Guys has been fun with the new custom maps, but how long will that last until I'm like bored again?
Right.
And I've definitely changed my mindset more recently. Like before, even just like a couple weeks ago, I was probably just doing Fall Guys Thursday, which I still kept up on, and then Rocket League Saturday or Among Us, and then Rocket League or Roblox on Sunday. Like I just had a schedule because then I wouldn't have to choose. But at this point, I'm like, every time I stream, I've just been like clicking through my Steam library or my Epic library. I'm like, what's like a storyline game? I don't care if I have 6 people in stream or 2 people in stream. I don't care about that anymore.
Yeah, see,
like I just want to play something I want to play.
Yeah, that fascinates me hearing you say that. Like, what shifted? Because it sounds to me, and stop me if I'm wrong, the beginning you were really like motivated and you did what you felt like you needed to do to grow. Yes, now you're kind of more 100%. Like, it is what it is. I'm trying to have fun. I'm not really trying to like appease the algorithm. I'm not really trying to like push that much stuff. What made you shift? Because I feel like, and not to cut you off, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Like I feel like
I've been talking the whole time.
It's okay. It's okay. I just I just gotta add a little commentary. I don't want to leave it all you, man. It's both of us.
I'm a talker. I told you this.
That's okay. No. I love it. Yeah. I want to walk you through, brother. Yes, it's the first podcast, man. Let's get it. Let's do it right. So I was saying, so what happens is that I feel like in my personal experience, for example, when I kind of felt that drought, almost like this game's just boring now. It's more to do with like either my mindset or my personal life, or something just like isn't sparking that's making me want to play said game. I don't know if you would say the same, like, but what made you kind of feel like, all right, I'm not really that excited to play this game anymore? Walk me through that.
I think it's a combination of things, actually. Like sometimes it's just like even reading chat. Like it's not like I hate chat, but it's like if you're on the phone with a friend and you knew it was going to be a 3 to 4 hour call. So you feel exhausted after, and doing that like every day or every other day. Sometimes that burns me out, even like more than even just playing the game.
Cameron keeping it real. Let's go. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I get it though. Some people are. I'm not gonna lie. It's true. Talking to some people really is a slog.
Even if they're your friends, even if you get along with them all the time. And I think too, like, I'm trying to remember your full question just so I don't miss points.
No, it's okay. It was related to like maybe it's your personal life or mindset has changed that's made you look at gaming differently.
Oh yes. So personal mindset, just like a lot of the time I'd rather hang out with family and friends, and the weekends are much like that. Going from streaming every day to streaming 3 days a week, the algorithm doesn't push me as well. So that definitely hinders growth. And especially if you're only doing 3, like my longest stream now is maybe 4 hours. And before I was doing, you know, anywhere from like 6 to 8, you know. And so the algorithm does push you a lot. If your full goal was to make this a job, I'm saying stream 8 hours a day every day and play the games that work. That's what I think. And really push memberships once you get them, and push ads, you know, things that can make you make minimum wage to stream. But ultimately, that I thought in my head, and I think everyone who does YouTube should do this, is why am I doing this? You know, like what you were saying. And I'm doing it as a hobby. So why am I caring so much? Like I have a full-time job as a graphic designer. I'm not going to even quit my job even unless I hit like, you know, like 500K subs and was making good money. I'm not going to quit my job. So I'm like, why am I worrying so much about the growth, or why do I have to play the games I don't want to play? Just because number looks good, bigger number, better person is what Ludwig says.
Which is not necessarily the case. But you know what? It's refreshing to hear you say that.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, because I feel like in my like creator circle, everyone's talking about just creating content. I think it's a little refreshing to have someone and say, hey, like, what's the real things that are important? What's really important? You know?
Yeah, and that kind of comes up even to the next step is like, I'm having a daughter soon.
Right.
Am I gonna put in the same drive that I have now?
Right.
You know, am I gonna be making videos all the time? Is the algorithm gonna push me as good when I'm streaming, you know, once or twice a month? Or, you know, making videos once every week? No, the algorithm doesn't, like, as an already small creator.
Right.
It just doesn't. So I just don't need to worry about it as much. But it all depends on your goals. I feel like if you want to make it a job, you almost have to treat it like a job. And I know with what you and VTice were saying, you guys want to make it something. It's tough. I agree that it's really tough when you're doing so, like, you guys also have to work. Like, I think that's the tough thing.
And then now that you have your job that you're already doing, on top of that, having, you know, a newborn, I mean, I'm sure you've spoken to plenty of parents. That's a whole, you know, like what are your plans? You have a battle plan? I don't know. Like, enlighten me, because I haven't had the joy of having a child yet, so I'm curious.
Oh, geez. I see, like, I do want to make a video, and I'm gonna probably have to make like a new schedule. I mean, and it's gonna probably be like once or twice a month. And I feel like honestly, I probably would just take a hiatus if it was just up to me. And I get it is, but it's not in the same way. If it was just up to me, I'd be like, okay, peace out. See you guys in 3 to 6 months, you know, like, and just live my life. But I don't know, the thing I like most about YouTube is you guys, like, streamers that I've met, people, relationships I've created, like playing games with everybody, and relationships through viewers as well, and people who have continued to support me. And money is one thing, and then just coming through is another. And I just don't want to be that guy that says, peace out, bye guys.
Yeah.
Thank you for supporting me month to month.
I think some of the folks I've hung out with, they call that an Irish goodbye.
Yeah,
you don't want to pull an Irish goodbye.
You don't say anything, you just walk away.
Yeah.
And that's the hard thing too, is like, let's say I did go for 3 months. I have this thing in my head. I'm like, do I just cancel memberships? Because I feel like there are some people that would want, like, their number to go up. And I do have it as the cheapest because I want people just to be able to do it. But do they want to see their numbers still go up? So if I come back in 3 months, they can say, look, I'm at 20 months instead of the 17. And it's only 99 cents a month. I get that's not a lot of money, but it is a lot of money, you know, it's hard-earned money that I don't want to be taking if I'm not earning it. So, or I cancel it and just make sure no one's paying money. And I don't know which one's the right answer. I feel like that's a hard thing to come up with. And I think ultimately I'm just going to keep posting community posts like once a week saying, hey, make sure to cancel your thing if you want to, you know, because I don't want people to just forget about it and not do it. But leave both of those options open.
Yeah. It's hard to speak for other people. I would probably, like remind them like, hey, just so you know, I may not be as active, but if you wish to continue to support, I think there's nothing wrong with that. I think that could be a nice flex. You know what I mean? Like, yo, I still supported Cameron even while he was not as active. You know what I mean? And then they can come when you finally maybe do you think that there will be a point that you would continue to do it, or you're just kind of like, you know what, man, I'm just gonna do it if I can. If I can't, that's okay. It's not gonna keep me up at night. That's what it seems like. You're
in my head. I think I will always do YouTube. Like, it's ignited.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that will come into fruition. That's how I think in my head, though.
Right.
But the thing is, like, especially with streaming, I know streaming was the main topic here. Sitting for anywhere from even 1 to 6 hours when you have like a newborn or a baby that is going to be awake most of the day. I don't want to stream when my kid's growing up right in front of my eyes, or like I'm like, okay, you go play over there and I'm gonna go just play games for 3 hours.
Yeah.
And like, especially with the newborn, you can't be sitting for 3 hours and not paying attention to the newborn and stuff like that.
Of course. So, and that's good that's good on you. I think that's a reflection on you as a parent rather than, vice versa, where you're more concerned about yourself and you're maybe leading the burden on your wife, your significant other, or you just straight up just don't care. And it's like, a thing for you. So I know the process, that you've been going through already shows me that. So I can respect that. I can kind of already tell that they're like serious about that. And it looks like your mindset has changed, which is, again, it's refreshing because I remember when I first met you, bro, not met, but, was watching you.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things you said. Cause I like to drop a little tip to the homies, you know what I mean? Drop a little member here and there if I'm there. I'm the type, I like to manually renew, so I always like manually renew it just because it feels better. I don't know why. It's almost like a form of donating. But I remember I did that, and you were like, "Hey, man, like I'm really just doing this as a hobby. You don't have to, but I appreciate it." And I was like,
"Yeah,
that was new." It almost like you kind of like you did something to me when you said that. I was like, "Huh." I really respect his honesty. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I try to tell people I work full time.
Right. Like it almost like it put me at ease. You know what I mean? Because maybe we do, as viewers, we have an expectation of someone, and it's good that you're like transparent about that and saying, "Hey, look, you know what I mean? Like maybe you'll catch me here and there. I do this as a hobby." Yeah, you did mention you were a full-time graphic designer, and I was like, you know what? I really respect that. This is a cool dude. This is just a worker like me. He gets it. You know what I mean? And that was
gotta earn that dollar.
Y'all gotta earn that dollar. So, coming from seeing constant streamers saying things like, all they would talk about is their content during the streams, it's a little exhausting. Give me a dude who just came from work, who gets it, who's tired, who's like, yo, I'm just trying to game, man. What's up, dudes? You know what I mean? That's refreshing, man. I appreciate that about you.
Yeah, and honestly, if I'm being completely honest, all I'm spending the money on, like, I'll let you guys know, I don't make tons of money from YouTube. I will share it here if you want me to, but
go
I don't really
Go ahead. It's up to you. Okay. It's up to you.
So like, I think in total, maybe I've made like $1,000 to $2,000, and that's in 2 years. Nothing too much, but honestly, all the money's gone to is either like, first of all, like little equipment stuff, like maybe a better mic, better camera or something, but like Pokemon cards and video games. Like if I want to buy a video game online, or donating to other streamers, like those are like the things I use, like especially because it used to be PayPal money before they do the Google. Before you get Google, you do Streamlabs through PayPal.
Yeah.
Or like Rocket League items. That's what I'm spending your guys' money on. So seriously, if you want those Rocket League items, buy it for yourself and not for me. But yeah, I mean, it's just all like fun money to me, where I'm not spending it like if I was earning it from a job. So do not donate to me unless you feel like you need to or want to.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Respect the honesty, man. I love it. I love it. Honestly,
Yeah.
like I said, it's very refreshing because again, so many content creators are talking about. I mean, I've even seen some lately talking about how like they're not doing that financially well. I'm like, bro, I mean, maybe me and you are on the same page about this. At the very least, this. I know you're more on the side of. I guess it would be fair to call you like maybe like a more casual streamer, but I feel like
Now
because
I am. I
yeah.
was full-time
Okay. So
streaming
then you'll
before.
definitely get my jive
Yeah.
and when I'm saying that it takes money to make money, my brother. You got to
Mhm.
make sure your personal life is on point. How you gonna make something out of this if you ain't even got no good income? You need something. You need, like you
Hey,
said, good microphone, good equipment. Like, what's been your experience with that? Because guess what? I know everything I see on that screen. At least, I mean, as far as I know, they didn't come for free. Because I can speak for myself, and none of this came for free. I had to
so
work
what?
for it.
First thing I can tell you this: when I first told my wife I was streaming, she said, "You're not leaving your job."
Right.
That was
There's
the
no
first
way.
thing she said. You're not quitting your job, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not planning on it." But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, honestly, I still did it on a budget. I think there is a way, like this mic, maybe $50, 35 to 50,
Wow.
I think, when
Wow.
I bought it.
Okay.
This camera, I think right around that too, 35, 50. Like it's a Logitech. I mean, I think it probably goes for 80 now, but the monitors, I got this monitor for like 80, 75 from my
Yeah.
boss at work.
Nice.
And this other monitor I got, I think when I bought the computer for 100, and it's even worse than my other one.
Yeah, dude. I
But
finally bought my second monitor today. $25.
yeah,
I feel like I made it, bro. I was like,
I
I
know.
got two monitors now. This
There
is
is on a
awesome.
budget, but yes,
Right.
you do need it some startup. And PewDiePie said it too. I don't know if you like PewDiePie or not,
I do.
but
I do.
he
That's a
said when
goat,
he
man.
started, yeah, I agree. I love that
Yeah,
guy.
yeah, yeah.
He's one of the only, okay, I have bought some smaller streamers. He's the only big creator that I've ever bought merch from. His 90 mil merch.
I bought his G
But
Fuel, so I'm with you.
yeah. But he said even when he was starting out, he worked at a hot dog store. And
Yeah.
he even said I would never quit a job just to start YouTube. Like
Mm,
your odds are so low. It's just luck. Like you have to keep a steady job. I mean,
right.
unless you're living with your parents, that's fine, I guess. Like if you're young enough, but you can't you can't do that as an adult.
No,
You
no,
know,
it takes
especially
money to
once you
make
get
money.
married or have a girlfriend. I don't
Oh,
think you're
yeah,
gonna want to
forget
be.
about it. No, no, no. Listen, my wife loves me, but I don't know if she loves me enough to just be eating ramen noodles. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? There's an expectation
Unless you have
when,
a breadwinner wife, I guess.
yeah,
She's
yeah.
yeah, I get a
Which,
stay-at-home dad.
which, if that's how it is, I mean, do you? But
Yeah.
you know what I mean? There was an expectation when she married
Yeah.
me. Let's keep it real. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? She didn't marry the YouTuber Yugi. That came later. So you know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
you gotta invest. So it's just fascinating to me that people aren't set in that situation. And that's what I'm saying. That's why you gain my respect very quickly because again, I'm running into so many others who like they're like super desperate to the point to where like it becomes their only world, and you gotta have an outside life. You gotta have something outside of this, so you don't freaking end up getting consumed by it, and then you end up getting so upset, which unfortunately I've seen to where it affects the streams, for example. You know what I mean? I know if I go
I've
to my
felt that. I've felt
right
that. I do it as a hobby. So,
there, you go. You know what I mean? And I've seen
well,
you. I know if I go to a camera gaming live stream, it's gonna be very lighthearted, very goofy, very fun. But if it gets to the point where it's like affecting you, your mood because of your performance, that'll leak over to the stream, and then nobody wants to see that. I don't think.
and a lot of the time, it's not even your performance. It's just like YouTube. Less people are on YouTube sometimes.
Right.
Like during COVID, it was a lot easier to get followers. During summer, it's a lot easier to get followers. Like a lot more people online. And then you hit the winter months, and then you feel like nobody's watching, and you just like feel depressed, and it's already like a depressing season.
Yeah.
You're like, my
Yeah. On
numbers are
top of
way
that.
down. Where did I haven't seen these people in 20 days, or like a month,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
were my concurrent viewers that hung out all the time. And
Yeah.
so it is very easy to get like held up in the numbers. And yeah, I don't know if you know Abba and Preach.
I do. I do. I do.
Okay, they mentioned it too, just in a video today, actually, where they said like, don't get caught up in the numbers because YouTube is like a roller coaster where sometimes the numbers are good, and then sometimes they're really bad, and then it goes up, and then it goes down, and
Yeah.
like if you get too caught up in the numbers, where people get like really sad. So
Yeah. No, you're right. I
yeah.
don't. I was talking to a creator privately. I told him I don't look at the view count. I have no idea. I don't know what the like count is. I have to ask, and I'm like, hey, what's it at? And then it's a pleasant surprise. Like, oh, that's nice. Let's see if we can hit 20 now, or whatever the case may be. So because of that, because it does affect you, because you know you especially if you're driven for it. So you know, I'm with you there, and that's funny that that they mentioned that, because it is true. Like, there are bad months, there are good months. Doesn't mean that it's a reflection on you as a creator. You gotta put out something, but you know, I like that he said that.
A travel vlog creator that I watched, actually, PP Peter. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's from Slovakia and stuff, but
okay.
He just stopped uploading during like January or something because he knows it's a slow month, and like YouTube ad revenue's down during those months. He'll just stop streaming or stop creating content for a month or two during those months. I think big streamers do it. Like if you ever see a big streamer go on a hiatus, it's usually because of something like that. That's when they take their holiday or vacations and stuff. But
something to keep a note of. I'll keep in mind of that. Because I definitely don't plan on stopping anytime soon. So I'll keep that in mind. That's it. I don't even think about that.
Yeah, so you could always just look up when ad revenue's at its worst. That's when you take your vacation.
There you go. All right, I'll keep that in mind. So now that you're here, so we walked through it. You started. Now you're taking a little more of a casual approach. Now that you're here, do you feel like I heard you said it earlier. You know, you may see yourself doing it maybe like once or twice a month. Why do it at all? That's my question.
For the people. The people, Yugi.
Okay.
I think the biggest thing, the most important things to me, as far as continue doing it, because I know like I can still be friends with the streamers, still talk to the streamers, you know, but I think the biggest thing to me is just like the viewers that have supported me throughout the whole thing. Like, I just don't want to leave them in the dust and like basically be dead to them, or like make it seem like, oh, I didn't really care about you, or if you want to talk to me, you can talk to me on Discord, you know, like stuff like that. And I've been streaming, I think, longer. I don't know if I think longer than you, but
I imagine. Also, I started
I'd imagine
taking it completely seriously last July.
Okay, so yeah, I think I started February of 2020 or something.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know, something around there. Whenever COVID was, I don't know.
Yeah,
when was COVID?
No, it was 2020. Yep.
Okay, so February 2020. And the funny thing is, I made a lot of Rocket League friends before meeting like OPJ or Pixels or anyone else playing Rocket League, like Jay Bizzle. There's a lot of Rocket League creators. Before meeting any of them, I actually had friends, Joey J25 and Christo5, two other creators that played Rocket League a lot. They both quit YouTube. One quit because he was getting into college and just wanted to, he got a girlfriend as well and just didn't want to focus on YouTube anymore. I think he liked YouTube a lot, but it was just consuming his life too much.
Right.
And then Christo5 had a baby as well, a baby girl, and he was trying to make it on YouTube and make it his career, but instead he had to do plumbing in New York. But that's because he's an Italian plumber, family plumbing in New York.
They just dropped a movie about him recently.
Yeah, that's what I joke about. But yeah, so I mean, seeing that, and they are cool people, and I still talk to them. Joey J still shows up and stream, but it's just like one of those things that I was like, I don't want to, like, I'll have people ask me like in my stream, oh, how's Joey J doing? And I'm like, I haven't talked to him in like 2-3 months, and you know, I don't know. Like,
right.
Your guess as good as mine. I mean, and then it's usually just like catching up, like, oh, how are you doing? How's things going? And I don't know. I didn't want to do that to my viewers. I'd rather, you know, hey, I'll either release videos, and videos I would rather release because I can step away from my computer and play with my child and then come back and edit.
Yeah.
Go play with my child. Or, you know, like if my child wakes up and I have to put him back to sleep, I can step away. With streaming, you can't really step away. And I think that's the hardest thing about it is like you can't just step away for an hour. You can,
but
but that's
it's
not
not
the
gonna do
content
well.
I wanted to create. You know,
Yeah.
like wait for me for X amount of time.
Right.
You know, I don't want to be that person. So that's why I would say I'm minimizing streaming, but I would like to do more videos, which I've done videos in the past. But I think I would keep the videos more variety streaming rather than being like Rocket League,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I was doing.
Yeah, you were doing that one game that I hung out for a long time with. I thought that was very interesting. It was a story game. It was like these kids that were sitting on a couch and they were like a freeway. I forgot the name of it.
Oh, yes. Road 96.
That's
Road
what it
96.
was. Yeah, there was like dialogue decisions. That was fun. That was cool to
Yeah,
watch.
so I actually streamed one of those a long time ago, and it became like a meme in my channel because the main character girl, she was like a side character in the first game, and everyone's like, "Oh, go so," because they kind of make you that's the heartthrob girl in the story. So everyone's like, "So no, we have to get her, we have to save her," like all this stuff. So
yeah. Okay.
that's why I played the second one is because my stream really liked it the first
Okay.
time.
No,
I even
that's cool.
one of my membership icons was her right away. But
that's awesome. That's awesome.
yeah.
Hey, well, you giving back to your viewers. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. I see what you're saying. Like maybe you feel like convicted to do that for them. Have they given you any input on like your soon, I guess, for lack of a better word, transition into like a little more slower paced content making? Have they said anything? Like what's
not
been the...
really.
Oh, okay.
I haven't really said too much. Like, hey guys, I'm gonna be stopping, you know, or slowing down.
You kind of just yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, but like you know, if I miss a day on Thursday, I'll get a couple, 3-4 messages in Discord, a couple comments on YouTube. Hey, when you going live? You know, so you do feel for that,
right?
But you also appreciate, like you're like, I appreciate you guys asking because, you know, that's showing that you are supporting me and showing up to stream. Yeah. But then at the same time, you're like, oh, I just wish nobody would notice that I didn't stream today.
Yeah. So you wouldn't feel that guilt. What?
Over your face.
Yeah. You're a human being, and I'm sure you grew up a certain way, so I'm sure you feel some type of conviction versus where like maybe like if you're at a certain level, maybe it's easier to kind of like dehumanize the numbers. You know what I mean? It's a lot harder when it's like on like the smaller scale. I feel like
either you're at the smallest where like leaving doesn't really affect anyone, or you're at the biggest where you don't care about the people. But the middle is when you have like a community that you talk to.
Like, and then you've worked hard for it. It's
days,
like,
how everyone's days were, their weeks were, and you feel like you've worked hard, and you know, like, oh, if I stop streaming for a month, everyone's just gonna stop caring or something. And you know, even if that's the case, I don't care at this point. My thing is like that I want to do good with the people who are gonna show back up after I'm gone for a month or 2 months or 3 months. Who are those people that are gonna still show up and be like, oh, missed you, Cameron. How are you doing? How's everything with the baby? You know, stuff like that. I don't really care about the people who just showed up. I mean, I
know what you're trying to say.
Not in a mean way. Not in a mean way. I don't care.
You're
about
saying
them, but like
it doesn't. You don't care. Like it doesn't affect you as much.
It doesn't affect them. Yes. Thank you for correcting me before I get canceled.
No. I got you, bro. I got you. I know what you're trying to say. That's the problem with cancellation. Let's talk about that for a second. The problem is not what people say. Sometimes conclusions. I swear it's like their personal projection or biases on people. I know what you're trying to say, but people like want to make it something that it's not, and that is so unbelievably annoying that it stops in this channel. Like it's just not gonna happen.
They're gonna clip me.
Yeah, clip you around. I just don't care.
I don't care about my viewers. No, they just clip me again.
It's so unbelievably annoying. I won't do that to you. There'll be many clips off this podcast, but that's not one.
Those are just the your shorts.
Yeah,
Cameron says he doesn't care about his viewers.
Imagine. Oh gosh, no, I can't do that.
Hey, it might drive people to my channel being like, hey, Cameron, and you don't care about us?
I'm gonna make you care now.
I always said that, like, if I was crap talking in Rocket League, you know, crap talking in competitive games is normal. But if I was crap talking, I would always be like, don't worry, I'll win them over when they come to the stream. Like, you know, they might come to hate you right away, but when you convince them that you're just a cool guy hanging out playing games, then they're like, you win them over.
Right. It's happened to me ish. Apparently, like, I killed. From what I'm understanding, the way the story went is that I killed someone in Fortnite. I think they came to my stream and view botted me. So there's that.
Yeah,
I guess it could backfire, but whatever.
And the funny thing is that I knew I was getting popular enough where I crap talk someone in Rocket League. They searched my Epic Games name, which is Real King Gaming, so it's not like my YouTube exactly. But they searched it in Google, and it shows up with my channel.
Poof.
And they're like, "Oh, nice YouTube channel." I'm just like, "Oh no, I was just trying to crap talk offline." Yeah, I go. Now I need to clean up my ass. People can find me.
The one time you weren't live. That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to about crap talk with some of my viewers, and I don't know how like you navigate it, but I guess like my question would be, or I guess like the topic conversation would be, I feel like when you're at a certain level on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you have to be a lot more careful with either your words or to know when to pull back. So for example, like say I'm going up against you, right? I may say something very lighthearted like, dude, what was even that shot? You know what I mean? Like just a joke, something like that. But then if I see that maybe like it's upsetting you, I'll know like, nah, man, but just try this next time, or you're doing pretty good. You almost have to know when to pull back where you're at a certain level. Do you agree, disagree, or like, what's your approach? Because on my side, like I feel like, at least when you're live, let's say, you might have to know when to pull back. You might have to know when to throw a little sugar in there. But I know some creators that are just like, I don't care.
Yeah,
I'm gonna talk however I want to talk to anyone. What's your thoughts?
So I've had a lot of experience.
He said, Cameron Gaming, more like.
So actually, the friends that I started playing Rocket League with seriously, we were very much that way, where it'd be like every day you're kind of crap talking each other. Oh, that was your job to save that. What are you doing? You're the reason we lost that. And it would almost get into like a yelling battle.
Yeah.
And it got worse if it got personal. Like, when it got personal attacks,
it's time to stop.
Like, yeah, like it's like we're getting off. And I think it's a lot like a marriage in a way where like you're going to have arguments in marriage. You're going to have arguments in friendships when playing games, or even if it ain't that serious. Just how I would, if a streamer's doing it, I would say, how much do you want to play with these people again, or how much do you want people to play with you? Because if you're just being a jerk the whole time, nobody's going to want to play with you, you know? So especially those specific people that you're being a jerk to, they're not going to want to play with you again.
Right.
So I think the best way to navigate it, and I say it's like a marriage, because it's like you never go to sleep angry at each other, and I think that's the best way to live. Because if you're sleeping and you let something boil, rather than just apologizing for it or trying to fix it. And not everything is, like if you're like, oh, we can't pay mortgage, that's not going to be fixable in a night. But just like trying your best to fix an issue before you go to bed, right?
Right.
You go to bed with not an argument on your mind. And I think that's how gaming should almost be too, where before you get off, if you and me were crap talking each other or mad at each other, right before you get off, say, hey man, I'm just sorry. Like, because even if it was heated, I'm sorry for, saying that stuff. That was my bad. It's just a game, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
The next day it's better.
Right.
It's got heated moments are going to happen. And
absolutely. Like, especially if you play at any type of competitive anything, sports, you name it, chess, freaking science competitions, they all do it. I always make sure to remind them, hey man, it's all love. That's usually like my phrase, I guess, for lack of a better word. Hey man, it's all love. I'm happy for you. I care for you. I want to make sure you're okay. I've also had situations where I said, hey, look, okay, now I know not to joke that way with that person. Some people may not take it the wrong way. That's what I mean. It's difficult because everyone's so different. Every grew up so different. I'm trying so hard not to project my ways of being because I grew up like stone and nails, man. Like my homies were reaming to me, and then I go to the Marine Corps, reamed into me. So it's just like I got the thickest than ever. I can navigate anything, but I got to be careful not to do that to others, and understand that just because maybe I'm not as sensitive, it doesn't mean that I can like project that onto other people. And I like what you said. You said it perfectly. Like, if you're just gonna be a jerk to everyone constantly, and then just expect them to understand that, you know, it is what it is. Or if I say like you're just being, you know, for lack of a better word, you're just being a snowflake. Is anyone gonna really want to watch my streams? Is anyone gonna really want to be around my presence, or would you rather be around the person who's nice? I don't know, but I like what you said. I think
there are creators that do the jerk well. I mean, Tyler One, a League of Legends player,
right.
Oda Block, a RuneScape player, and they kind of have like they are the freak out energy.
Right.
Is kind of what they played off of. So it can work, but I feel like that's a lot less likely to work than someone that people relate to or like. And yeah, and I mean, it's even less about growth, YouTube growth, and more like, hey, do you want to keep the friendship of the person you're playing the game with? Or do you want, like, because if we just got in, like, or if we're just yelling at each other every time I play games with you, how long is that going to last before I'm like, I don't want to play games anymore?
Yeah.
Because it's just annoying, you know, like, and like vice versa. And yeah, and I think just mitigating it, but people are, like if people didn't grow up the same way you did, and
like maybe like that's what I was getting at, like more like you know, the way I grew up, it was very cutthroat, but at the end of the day, we were always there for each other despite all that. And it was kind of like a mutually it was an unwritten rule almost that like, obviously I care for you, you know what I mean? We're just having fun.
There definitely does have to be an understanding, like, yeah, like what you were saying, when you cross the line you apologize, and sometimes you have to cross the line to figure out that that person is offended by that, or you didn't have information you knew. I've actually had, even just growing up, I've had those situations where you know, like in middle school I learned, I won't repeat the joke, but it's a joke along with adoption.
Okay.
And then I figured out the kid was adopted, and he started crying in front of me.
Yeah.
And I started like apologizing profusely because I didn't mean to. I just heard this joke, you know, I just was telling it because I'm a jokester. I just say jokes all the time. And it affected him in a lot more way out of information I didn't even know, you know, like and I even in college, I said it, something about a family member joke. I mean, you know, the yo mama joke type stuff.
Sure.
And his mom passed away.
Right.
So, you know, yo mama jokes are a regular thing. They're not that offensive, but when you don't know how it's going to affect the people you're delivering it to.
Yeah.
That friend, he wasn't super close to his mom during the time and stuff. So he was just joking about it as well, and just bounced it off well. But that very well could have been like a bad situation.
Yeah.
I like just didn't add the information on to make a joke, you know?
Yeah. You didn't know. And that's what I mean. It's hard to navigate that. How could you watch what you say, but maybe there's a two-way street to where maybe that person should acknowledge, oh, maybe he just doesn't know. Let me not hate them or be upset at them. Maybe just, you know, it's almost like I don't know.
There has to be a base understanding for sure.
Yeah. Like, hey, by the way, I'm not cool with that. You know, which I've done 99 times over. It's so second nature now that I don't even think to be offended anymore. I'm just like, hey, like I would appreciate it if you didn't say that. You know what I mean? Like, you know, we're cool. Like, I know ill will. Just, you know, it's fascinating, man. Like the way we navigate things and how we are talking in the chat, I think, because like VTice, he does a lot of the self-deprecating approach when it comes to humor.
Yeah.
So he kind of like, you know, anyone who's been on his streams, VTice is just, he will rip onto himself more than you can. But yeah, I don't know what's the right answer, but I feel like saying things like, well, I just don't care, they just have to just deal with it, almost doesn't feel like it is the right approach. But there are exceptions to the rule. Like you said, Tyler One, you know, he's very known for, but he changed. You see, a lot of people don't
Kind of.
know
He
that.
does still have a similar. Yeah, he
Right.
did the reform thing, but
Right. But
that was more about like leaving games and stuff, like ruining games.
right.
He was essentially ruining the game.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. Right.
so that's a little bit different from it. I think he kept kind of the same energy, other than like he wanted to be back in the game, so he wasn't throwing games.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what's the right answer, but I guess it just depends on the type of person you are. But I don't know. I
Hey,
feel I stand by the phrase: "You get more flies with honey."
hey, even like finishing this basement, like me and my dad would argue sometimes because we're
Right.
both tired, we're both frustrated, you're worn out, and when we would argue, like a sorry goes a long way, and I
Right.
think people just don't, like honestly, I think a sorry, if more people said sorry, it'd fix like 90% of the
It
world's
really would.
problems.
It really would. It's almost like a
Yeah.
maturity thing, right? Like you got to have the ability to know, like, I crossed the line here. I'm sorry, man. You know I don't mean like that. It's almost like you're being the bigger man. You're kind of stepping down because that person may be reaming into you, whether it be in
Hmm.
chat or in person. So, yeah, I'm glad we're on the same page there. I feel like maybe you. I don't know if do you feel like you've learned that through. I'm assuming your life experiences and such.
Yeah, I think. Oh, I don't even know exactly where I heard it, but I don't know if it was a relationship thing or just I don't remember exactly. I did hear it somewhere, like basically what I told you, that saying like and I mentioned it, like I'm not gonna say names. Someone I knew was like in an argument,
Yeah.
and we were in the car ride, like a long car ride. So being in an argument, a long car ride, complete silent. We stopped to get gas, and I say, "Hey, you know what? Like I know they made a mistake, but you should just say sorry." Because it'll fix this. Do you really want to stay mad at each other? Do you want, you know, for this long for no reason other than to stay burnt? And they're like, okay, whatever, like whatever, and they end up apologizing, and it fixes it. Like I'm saying, like near instantly, and I was like, this was like at practice. Like I've seen it
You've
at
seen it.
practice.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
People put
Firsthand.
it into practice. Yeah,
Oh.
put it
Oh.
into practice. So and then I mean, like me and my wife too. I mean, like if you just say sorry, I forgot to do this, or sorry, I'll figure that out, or sorry, we argued about a stupid thing.
Right.
Most fights are over stupid things. It can fix it, even if it's not your fault. If you be the better person, it'll fix it a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Like you just have to be the bigger person and not care, and then you say sorry, and then they're like, okay, everything's good.
Yeah. It's
Um,
just that part is hard for certain types of
mhm.
people. And I guess it's just swallowing your pride type thing. They can't do that. They want to be the right person. I don't know. Again, it seems like just more a maturity thing. Not to like
Yeah.
beat the dead horse, but that's all I can really like attribute it to. Um Navigating that though, thank you for all the updates with
Yeah.
in terms of your channel and like what your future is. How has it been? And which I haven't you're the first I've ever talked to. You're the first person I would have ever talked to about this subject, but being married and streaming. Like how'd you navigate that, and how has that been for you?
Also,
Because
don't leave my job.
like has there been conflicts there? Like how does she feel about it? Does she want to be involved? Has she not? Like if as much as you can, obviously you don't have to if you don't want to.
I would say she doesn't want to be involved. Like at first she played when I first started streaming like 6 years ago, when I first tried and it didn't work out well. She did play like Mario Kart with me and stuff like that. And I think she's interested in like the fact that, people watch me, but she doesn't like care to be a part of it,
Mm,
or really grow. And it was like at first much the thing that's like, well, let's just not talk about it to people. Like almost like, is it embarrassing almost?
yeah, 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 yeah.
But after I was growing and people actually watch me, then she was more like open about it. Like, oh, Cameron streams. And I was like, I thought we weren't telling people about that, and then she's telling people. So I think she finds it interesting, but doesn't really want to be a part of it too
Mm.
much. So, but
Was gaming like stigmatized for both of you growing up?
and oh, and sorry, when she's usually at home, she's like, "This is my relaxed time. Take off makeup, put on sweats." So she does not like to be on like the camera when walking behind my streams and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, I figured as much. Yeah, it's the
Was
same with my wife.
Did you say was streaming or was video games?
Like video
Sorry.
games, streaming, you can add both. Like, was that stigmatized for you growing up, for both of you?
Like my parents wouldn't like, or my mom was like, she didn't care what we did. My dad was very much like, he would always say like, I would way rather buy you a football jersey than a video game, but still like we still got video games. It wasn't like we were, but it was definitely like during Christmas he wouldn't want to get us like tons of video games. He'd rather get us footballs and stuff we could do outside and stuff like
Right,
that.
right.
Well, I wouldn't say it was like super stigmatized. I played more video games and I probably put like a year or two of gameplay of my life into video games. Very easily, probably a year at least.
I don't regret an hour of it. I don't regret a minute of it. It was all worth it.
Yeah, all worth it.
To me.
My wife, I think she played like Wii U or not Wii and stuff, and she played video games here or there. I think she mostly didn't want to tell people about the streaming because she didn't want people to know how long I was playing video games.
Right.
like or family thinking, oh, is something wrong? He's playing video games for 4 hours a day,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's mainly the reason why. Like she didn't want. I wouldn't say it's super stigmatized. It's just more like, people ask questions. Why is he playing video games 4 hours a day?
Yeah. And even now, like where I'm at now, I still kind of just look at it like playing video games, but I don't know if that's because of things that were said to me more than I'm coming up with that idea on my own. Like little by little, I'm starting to realize it's a lot deeper than that. You know what I mean? I think it depends on who you ask, but in my opinion, it's a little more of like something to do with your homies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the funny thing is, I forgot to even answer this. He asked, like, I don't know if he asked why I kind of started streaming in the first place too, is because I already played a crap ton of video games. Like I'm saying, 4 hours a day already.
Right.
4 to 8 hours a day already. And I was like, why not stream this? Nothing might come of it, something might come of it, but why not? And the biggest thing to me was like, I want to be able to relive the experiences I'm creating too. Like if I'm playing games with my brothers, how cool would it be that I could go 10 years down the road and see what we played 10 years ago, talking and hanging out and having fun on a video game.
Right.
And I feel like, why not? I'm already playing the games. Just hit that record button. And yeah, I do think it's more than that. I do think it's more than like I said, it's almost like being on a phone call, building relationships.
Yeah.
But I think that I have most fun streaming when I'm playing with other people, like other streamers and stuff.
Yeah, which you've been doing. I saw you've been doing. I don't know if it's like on every what exact Saturdays you've been doing it, but I see you.
We were doing Among Us a lot, and that was good help to like Jay Bizzle and Sins, one of his viewers who started streaming too. Sins V3, he kind of started like an Among Us group, and we were doing that for a while, but Saturdays are kind of rough for me too because that's like my hangout with family day.
Right.
And then they're like, will everyone be on by 6 to 7 p.m.? And I'm like, I've been hanging out with family all day. I won't be on until like 10. But so that's the kind of hard thing with that. But ultimately, yeah, I just wish if it was up to me, every stream I would be playing with another streamer playing whatever game.
Yeah, that's interesting you say that. I've even VTice has been tapping into that too. Like, what would be the benefit to you? I guess like elaborate on that. I'm curious because I've only done it twice where I did a live stream and the streamer was on with me at the same time, so it was super rocker.
I just have more fun with it, to be honest.
Right.
Like I enjoy the game more. Like when I'm talking to people and having like everyone's having fun playing something. I do think there is helpful stuff. I did play with Midnight Man on Rocket League the other day too, but he does like, I don't know if you know Midnight Man.
No, please enlighten me.
He's a pretty big YouTuber. He has 125,000, I think.
Wow.
But he does tutorials on how to do streaming, and then also how to like what equipment's better, stuff like that. almost like a Linus Tech Tips or something.
But for
A
streamers.
little bit. Yeah, streamers, and like he'll do his streams will be like playing Fortnite, and then he'll have like a wheel that he looks at your channel and tells things you can do better and stuff like that. So he'll look at a lot of smaller creator stuff and try to tell them what they can do better or what they should improve on. Watch like a couple of their videos or something.
That's neat.
And stuff like that. So he actually rated me when I was really small, and then we just became friends after that.
No kidding.
Yeah, just on Rocket League. So but I was just playing with him the other day, and then when I first met VTice, we actually played Phasmophobia.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like one of the first streams we played.
Like,
I think
the
this
guy's
one we hung
a
out.
little chicken.
Well, that's why I wanted to get him on. Like, yeah, we're gonna be playing Phasmophobia. Come play.
Wait till you hear this
funny.
guy.
So I was just like breathing into the mic. I was like, you know, trying to freak him out a little bit.
I was watching this video yesterday, man. Because me and my wife were talking about how well content is. I'm glad he's starting to actually like make videos. Because not everyone can catch a stream, you know. He's literally like this. I was like, oh my.
Yeah. Like, don't attack me! Don't attack me! Don't attack me! Yeah.
How are you with scary games, by the way?
I wouldn't say like I'm super scared, but I get super anxious in like those like type of chasing scenes. So I've made like a video on Poppy Playtime, and the only reason I would say I was like scared or got jump scared was because I missed the crouch key. So I was like panicking, like, where's the crouch? Where's the crouch? I was like, oh jeez. But I'm not usually bad. I like when I was younger, like Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Oh my, I know what you're talking about.
Spider level and like the plant even before you get in there that smacks you, like that stuff scared me. Like I got too anxious to play those games. And like I never really played scary games. My friend got like Dead Space right away, and I played that till like 3 a.m. and then I looked because my friend was talking to me for a while. Look over, he fell asleep. I'm like, where's the save point? Where's the save point? Where's the save point? You know, like freaking out.
I'm trying to turn this off. I don't want to play anymore.
Oh no, it's 3 a.m. I see my friend just passed out next to me. I'm like, wake up, wake up, wake up. Like nudging him, pretend I don't act like it's on accident.
Yeah, that's the memories, and that's what carries over in some of these conversations, man. And some of these interactions, like, you know, it's priceless.
I got into Phasmophobia because my brother wanted to try it, and I think that kind of helped bridge the gap of like it's not super scary, and you're playing with a group, so you feel like there's some protection there, like, you know, everyone's kind of running at the same time. That it kind of merged me into like playing like Poppy Playtime. I played like the Amanda the Adventure recently. I've played like the Little Nightmares and stuff like that. Like I haven't played the Ultra ones, but I think all of them. I played Poppy Playtime. I played the second one, the one that VTice just did. I just didn't make a video of it. I did record it. I never edited it down. But yeah, those games I get more anxious than I get scared, I would say. Like I feel like stressed, and but I like doing it with people, like scary games with people.
It's a little different, right?
How are you with scary games?
Oh, I have a heart of a lion, man. Yeah, like cheap jump scares still get me. Yeah, but I've been good. Like, dude, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I love arcades. I don't know if anyone knew this. I love arcades. When I go, I will post it all over my Insta. And I played this zombie game on, I think it was Dave and Buster's. It's one that like tracks your heart rate. Oh, I love it, dude. Because I'll be like, you ain't really. It doesn't really get me, man, and it's like a little bit of a flex for me. However, I've been sending a challenge to anyone. If they really want to test me, send me what you got. I'll try it.
I got one, but do you have VR?
Oh yeah, that's the level I haven't crossed.
That's the one that
that's what'll probably get me. Yeah.
There's a PlayStation VR one that I watched a while ago. I can't remember what the game was called, like Blood Train or something.
Okay.
But you're in a like a coal mining like roller coaster type thing, and you just all you have is like a gun, and you're looking around, and there's you know, like clowns running at you to kill you, or like depending on the level, zombies, and like, you know, and all it's super creepy and like seems pretty realistic. I'm sure.
Right.
But
Yeah,
when I was saying that, I was like, this would be freaking scary.
You think so? All right.
I think so.
I do have PSVR. I'd have to set it up.
Oh, okay.
So I will.
I think it's only on that. I'll look out the game and send it
to you. It's like it's not Killing Floor, is it? Like Blood Rush or Blood Hunt or something?
Maybe Blood Rush. Yeah, I think it's Blood something.
Let's see.
I would have to look it up.
See if I can find it. Why not? We'll do it live.
Yeah. Do it live.
Let's see. Until Dawn, Rush of Blood.
Yeah,
I think that's the one you're talking about. It's got like a clown in the cover.
Yep.
Very nice. Until
You'll have
Dawn.
to try that one on.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. I think I actually have it too.
Do you?
Because if I remember
correctly,
no, I haven't played it, but I think if I remember correctly, I think they released it for free on PlayStation Plus. So that may be why I have it, but if not, I'll definitely check it out. I'll take your word for it. And then well, at some point, if I could set up the PSVR, I'll check it out. Although I know the new one's coming out, so maybe it'll like tune it up a bit and make it a little more prettier for me, so we can amplify the scare. Cause I'm looking for one, man. I'm looking for something good.
Yeah, you want to feel something.
Yeah, something. Give me something. Give me something saucy. Right. Yeah, I can't stand cheap jump scares. That gets anyone, especially if you don't see it coming.
That's why I could never do Five Nights at Freddy's.
It's so annoying, right?
Yeah.
It's just more like, okay, man, really?
And then every single one. Couple times you just get like tired of it.
Yeah,
like,
it's just like
click, and then you're just like, okay.
Yeah, you just get immune to it. But I
like
that's what speaking of PewDiePie, that's what made his series of Amnesia so good, because that was like genuine horror. Like you don't know what you're seeing.
And I feel like VTice has that similar energy,
right?
Where he does get like the PewDiePie, but even PewDiePie said after you play so much, you start dead to it after a while, and you're fake. He even admits to faking reactions later on. Like at first he was scared of it, but then later on he would fake reactions because that's what got views, you know. So
be careful, VTice. Take some breaks. We don't want to lose that genuine reaction. Because it definitely gave me that vibe. When I was watching VTice, I was like, yo, this is literally Amnesia compilation. Live. Yeah.
Right, he's
yeah.
You know.
Just without all the Swedish.
Yeah.
But yeah, like speaking of so continuing on the topic of gaming, by the way, do you have a preference of games? Do you have like something you like to play, you not to play, you just play whatever?
Like my favorite games of all time actually kind of like are widespread.
Okay.
Like I would say like Smash Bros is up there.
Good.
Rocket League's up there. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, so that's like a storyline game. Just like the Ezio series in general for Assassin's Creed. What was the other ones? I know I had some other really good ones. Elden Ring was up there. I don't know if it reaches my top 5, but it was really close.
Right.
I'm forgetting. RuneScape, of course. I've played RuneScape for. I don't think it's like the most popular content, but do you watch Moist Critical?
Yeah.
Moist Critical. Like, did you watch his like recent thing, like where he said I achieved something? It took me 17 years, but I achieved it or something.
And no, what did he do?
A video titled that.
Enlighten me.
He got max level on an old school RuneScape.
Wow. Okay.
But he talks about like, you know how people say it's about the ride and not the destination.
Yeah.
He's like not with RuneScape. He's like, you hate every second of the ride. It's all about the destination, and like that's how it is. It's like one of those weird things that we get addicted to, like the progress, like, oh, progress made, and like constantly seeing progress that you'll never lose. Like, and I think you don't see that too much in video games. Like it's an MMO, but
right.
But like, so it is kind of weird. Yeah, I have an MMO, a single player game. Like Smash Bros is a fighting competitive like platformer game, and then Rocket League's just a competitive like sports game, kind of a hybrid weird genre, but like all kind of random genre games.
Right.
If it's a good game, I like it. Elden Ring being like, you know, one of those harder games, but still role playing in a similar sense to like Assassin's Creed, I guess, but a lot harder.
Okay, okay. And then would you say that like the games like Smash in terms of fighting games, you geared more towards, or would you be open to like play any type of fighting game?
I if you want me to be competitive, it would be like Smash, pretty much. But the thing is, I don't have a Switch. I have a Wii U, so I haven't
Right.
got a new. I haven't got a new Smash Bros since the Wii U one.
Have you
But
ever?
the Switch one, I am very good at.
Okay,
So.
okay. I see. What character do you mean?
I kind of play a mix of all of them, which I get. I get you're like, oh, this guy must be crap. He's not saying an actual character.
No, you good.
But at my group of mains, like ones
Mm-hmm.
that would frustrate most people, like I was getting pretty good at Diddy Kong with the bananas and frustrating people with that. I would say I was getting pretty good at like Luigi ups, like up Bs, where you just bang him into
Constantly
like
spinning.
kind of trolly. Bowser troll the crap out of people with the grabs and go off map once you're up, like just frustrate the crap out of people. Um,
Good
like
times.
got
Good
it,
times.
yeah. King Cave Rule, I was getting pretty good at. Just like what's the Rob? Well,
The
I was
robot.
getting pretty
Yeah.
good. You do like a down smash into the ground and then up A, charged up A, and it's like an auto kill.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
On the old, if you go to the old games, I was like a Captain Falcon man though, like, but I'm not as good at him. The thing is, every time I go Captain Falcon, my friends always went Mario, which
So it's
means
like a difficult matchup.
if you get them off the map, Mario has a cape. So
Hmm.
you just wait till they up B. Do you know Captain Falcon's up
Of
B?
course.
It's
Of
like
course.
a
It's like
grab thing.
yeah.
If you cape the up B, then your guy just falls off the map.
Yeah. Because you
So
can't recover
essentially,
from that.
all they have to do is get you off the map once and you're dead.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
mean,
because
you
that
just have to
seems
be
to
good
be the
enough.
thing about Captain Falcon. He is like a truck, but he's like an anchor when it comes to recovery.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's
I
just.
just liked getting the brass kneecaps, but like if where you just do the a front A
Yep.
kneecaps
Yep. Yep.
or the back A hits, like those things. But then people just yeah go to Mario and just I'm like this isn't fun anymore.
No, no, because they're trying to counterpick you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's annoying. That's annoying. Most people, in my experiences, when you play Smash, it's just like just play who you want and just have fun, and whatever happens, happens. You know what I mean? Like I'm a one trick pony. I just play Little Mac. I press,
So
I hear the bell, and then I win.
Little Mac's one of those ones that can get screwed from like Mario.
Yeah. Oh
the
yeah.
recovery,
Yeah. Yeah.
the recovery is just
His
so bad.
recovery is just dog water. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, so that was the funny thing is that same friend who brought Rocket League in, he brought his Switch into work, and we played Smash like every day at work. I was saying
Wow.
like every day we'd stay late. Some days we'd be playing like 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day, Smash Bros. So that's how I got pretty good at the new one without owning it. Is
Right.
like, and I was like way better than all of them because I played a lot of Smash before, but they kept like creeping closer and closer to like my skill level. I was like, I'm playing worse people. I can't like get better.
Did
They're
you?
playing me and like moving up a lot
Yeah.
quicker. They're
Isn't that
learning.
fascinating? How there's like a friend group meta almost.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, to throw out like random names, like, yo, I know David plays freaking Meta Knight like a beast. I gotta,
Yeah.
and, and then you go home and you start watching tutorials on Meta Knight. Dude, some of the friend circles can get nasty with that, man.
Yeah, ours was getting really competitive, and it'd be like I was pretty good at clutching up. So like even if I was down two deaths, like I would clutch up, and they would get super pissed. Run it again. You just got lucky, I always seem to clutch it up.
Yeah,
But
those are good times, man. Good
oh,
times.
yeah.
Have you ever had any experience with MK Mortal Kombat?
No, I thought you were talking about MK Leo, the professional Smash player. I was
That's a
like,
good
no,
note, though.
no, don't
That's a
know
good
MK Leo.
Yeah, I always say McLeo, but yeah,
Yeah.
MK Leo, yeah. No, the Mortal Kombat series. Have you ever tried it? Did you grow up with it? Did you not?
We have Mortal Kombat at my work,
Okay.
Mortal Kombat 3, so
Hmm.
the older one. My uncle had Mortal Kombat when I was like very young, but I've never owned it or been good at it. And
Okay.
I guess my main issue with that, I do know it's super skilled, like where to block, go up, down, and what combos you can do. But I guess the issue for me was always just the memorization of combos is kind
Mhm.
of what gets you good.
Right.
And it has a higher bar of entry.
Right.
And it's hard to get like your friends into it where you know the throwing hat maneuver and they don't know and you just keep throwing the hat. you know,
They're just like bullying you because of
and
your
then they
lack
don't
of
want to
knowledge.
play. Yeah. And
It's not
then it's like nobody
your
wants to play.
skill. It's just the fact that you don't understand it. Yeah, that's
Yeah, I didn't look up the combos. I didn't have today to sit and look at, oh, okay, that's how you do that. Maybe that's how you do this.
Whereas Smash Bros a little more like, hey,
Fluid.
there's one block button. It's a
Yeah.
little more obvious. Okay, you're being attacked now.
And there are combos, but there's also like ways to get out of it, and like the best players would be able to just like crap on you, but there's ways to like play easier to get people better too.
Yeah.
Where I feel like even if you don't like starting out on like Mortal Kombat, I might accidentally do a move doing this.
Yeah.
While someone else who knows like that one move could beat me. Like, and that's them maybe even trying less because they're just doing one or two moves.
Right.
But if they know how to do those, and I'm just doing this,
you're screwed.
You're just gonna have to spam as well. That's the only way it's spam.
Yeah, literally, it's just spam fest at that point.
I have watched a lot of it though. I've watched a lot of Mortal Kombat, and the other there's a couple other ones. I haven't watched too much Street Fighter. I'm trying to Killer Instinct, I think. I think I've watched a couple Killer Instinct ones too.
Okay.
But yeah, never got into it. Like, I'm impressed by it, but not good at it.
No worries. I was just curious what your thoughts were because they just announced that they were rebooting the series. There's a storyline reason for it, but
okay.
Yeah,
didn't they release a movie recently too?
They did. Yeah. I don't know if you saw it or not.
I didn't see it. I saw the old one.
Yeah, the old one's the goated. Like, I'm sorry, it just wasn't anywhere close. Like, the music, the soundtrack, and like the
Scorpion is my favorite character.
Oh yeah,
by far.
Oh yeah,
mask comes off, skeleton eyes on fire.
It's so metal. It's so everything that made the 90s and early 2000s metal was Scorpion. So they're bringing it back. I guess it's being rebooted. They're making it MK1. Liu Kang, I don't know if you remember, the one who's more like inspired off Bruce Lee, kind of.
He's the trainer.
Yeah,
he's the trainer.
Yeah. So I don't know if you remember the Lightning dude, Raiden.
Somewhat. Like, I remember of it. I don't remember.
Got, like, the top hat, kind of straw hat.
Okay, so he's yes. I do. All right,
so I guess Liu Kang took his spot. He's like the god of the world now. He said, "Hey, I'm just gonna restart everything," and so now we're going back to one. So it's kind of I'm curious, to see what everyone who's maybe had like first impressions or played the older ones will think, because I'm hoping more they tap into that. So it should be exciting. I can't wait. It's coming out this year. I don't know how you've been feeling about gaming lately, but I feel like there's just too much coming out now.
Is there? I like are you talking about like indies and stuff too, or are you talking about main?
That, but there's AAA games, like
a lot of AAA.
Yeah, like if you I know you mentioned Elden Ring earlier. That same company who worked on Elden Ring, FromSoft. Yeah, they're dropping the new Armored Core game, which I don't know if you're into like mechs and stuff like that, but it looks saucy, Cam.
Okay.
Saucy.
I'm interested.
Yeah.
I have a free game on Epic that I think is like that too, like those robot games.
Yeah. There's so much, like, you've got that,
I'll figure out the name of the one I have right now.
Yeah, sure.
It might be that genre, or you maybe played it before.
Yeah, Armored Core, like
Daemon Machina. Daemon X Machina.
Yeah.
Is that one good? Is that one
I would
worth
say
a
so.
try?
Yeah. Most of them are. The one that's coming out though, that's by FromSoft, is gonna be a little more like kind of like the same. I shouldn't say the same style, but a little more action, a little more like dodgy, moving. It's not less like you're in this robot and you're shooting in first person. You know what I mean? Or like shooting in third person. There's gonna be more like you're playing a story. There's action involved. It'll be cool, but.
Is it going to be really difficult, like the Dark Souls and the?
I imagine. I mean, it's FromSoft. I imagine it may not be as hard, but I'm sure they'll. Yeah. Their reputation speaks for itself. So. Yeah. With that, you into any shooters like that you do enjoy a lot?
I used to be. I don't know if I have it down here. I found all my Call of Duty games. When we're cleaning out the basement, all in a box. I'm like, oh, there's my stack of Call of Duty games that I haven't seen in years. But
right. How far back did it go?
I have it right over think it's right over there. Here, wait 1 second.
Yeah, take your time. Getting the exclusive look at Cameron Gaming's Call of Duty collection, guys. It's hype.
What's the oldest Call of Duty you think I would have?
Can I know your age?
I am 20. I'm like a couple, like around 20 days around VTice's age. Like I'm about VTice is like 20 days older than me or something.
You're definitely not 30.
No, I'm 28, turned 29 in June.
So you're like same era as me.
Yeah, we're old.
Yeah.
How old are you, if I may ask?
I'm 30. I'm 30.
You're 30. Oh, geez, Grandpa, one foot in the grave. Okay, so I have a brother who's 30, turned 30 in February, and then I have a brother who's like 32.
Oh, wow.
So,
okay.
Then I have a sister that's younger than me, but
full house, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, full.
All right.
You can see why I'm hanging out with family so much.
Nothing wrong with it, man.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it. That's awesome. Okay.
I'll tell you, it's not the first one, if that helps.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, because I was gonna be like, if you grew up
it's not gonna be lame with the first one.
No, you're good. I feel like I can get this though. So you didn't
I can tell you, I bought it, but it was after the game was super popular. I would say
it's got to be
like before it was popular.
It's got to be COD 3.
Or after. I mean, after
COD 3.
Dang, what a guess!
What I told you.
See, platinum hits.
Yup, platinum hits.
COD 3, baby.
COD 3 was huge, man.
Oh, that was such a good game.
It's such a good game. That's when it really felt like a war.
Was fire too.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, and you had the special classes. Like one person was a medic and they could heal you. Yep. They had Spike Television, a Spike Television disc. Spike Television bonus disc.
That's awesome.
Where they played like a game show on TV.
That's crazy.
of the game, like when the game released.
Oh my gosh, that's a collector's item right there.
I know. Dude. I should start playing. I'll just send it to you so you can play it at the end of the.
Absolutely, please do. That's hilarious.
That'd be hilarious.
What in the world? Yeah, that's.
They played like paintball. I did watch it.
Yeah.
They'd play like games in between playing the Call of Duty games, and how they did in like the real life games would like give their in games like more benefits. So they were like winning, and they had to win it in the game to win it all type thing.
That's very fascinating. Huh.
Yeah, cool.
I'm sure we could probably still do something like that, like maybe with like airsoft or something. That'd be neat. Man, I swear things were so different back then.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, they would never go that far now. They
put a Spike TV,
Spike TV,
CD in your video game.
Spike TV, man, that was an interesting era.
Just let me know if I get to a point too where I'm like VTice and just won't shut up.
It's a podcast. I can't do that. It's content, baby. It's content. I gotta let y'all run. But it's all right, man. I'll take you to the promised land, little by little. We'll get there. You're good, dude. You're good. You did great. You're doing great. You're doing great.
Thank you,
first
man.
time?
Did I get the job?
I think so. Yeah, I was telling him.
That's what they all say. They don't call back.
Starts crying profusely. No, I was talking to VTice. I don't know if you heard, man, but we definitely all can get together and do a sit down. I think that'd be dope.
Oh, with VTice though. No.
Yeah, with him and whoever else you'd like to invite. You know what I mean? We can have a freaking live commentary, gameplay, whatever you're thinking, man. I think that'd be great.
No, I think you should do a game show with everyone you have on your podcast.
I can definitely do that. I could definitely do that.
I saw this YouTuber do a game show, but it was like the host could rig the game show. That's what you should do. Like, oh, you have to ask, like he did, like you have to ask me how much you can move, and he's like, can I move 3 spots up there? And he's like, you can move 1, and then just like make up the game as it goes, just make him decide what happens.
Yeah, it's
a lot of. It was a pretty funny video.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of good stuff we could do with this type of format. You know what I mean? And I'm glad you're here for the ride, man. I'm glad you're part of this history we're making.
Glad you let me be here for the ride.
I do. I think you're a refreshing take. I think I like your laid back attitude. I love that. Like I said, you're very like honest, realistic about, you know, your whole thing, and I think other people can appreciate that too. At least within our little circle, whatever you want to call it. But Going back to it though, I know you brought up like Activision games, man. A lot of people upset because they've been cutting down fan made content. So they would like, take like for example Modern Warfare 2. I'm sure you were around that golden era of 360 at the time, which was just unforgettable for a lot of us. They're just cutting down on that. So if there's any PC mods, any like ongoing servers, they're getting shut down. I don't know if you have any thoughts on it, but right now, like, and I'm just quoting here. Don't hang the messenger. But right now, on trending on Twitter is fuck Activision. They're pissing off everybody. Everyone's upset. Everyone's sick and tired of the crap. What's been your experiences, and what do you think about that?
It's a weird thing because, like, ultimately, I get servers space costs money and how much people are playing that they'd have to cut down on. But I think like if they cared about that's the issue. I don't think they care. Like, I think there's better ways of doing it than they are.
Yeah, I don't know if you're familiar
with what
with
they should do is.
But with FaZe Jeff, that's what he said. He's like, they just don't freaking care.
They don't care. None of the big industry. Yeah.
Right.
Well, and aren't they selling to Microsoft or they sold the like Xbox in it anyway, so they're like, here's our company. I don't think they care.
Yeah.
But ultimately, like the perfect world, which no one ever does. I mean, it's just like Smash Bros or other games too.
Right.
Is that like, why don't they just port like it to the new system in like a one pretty package, all of the previous Call of Duties.
Right.
Up to Xbox One.
Right.
Up to the ones that are more than $9 to buy.
Right.
Sell it for $60 even. I bet a lot of people would probably pay.
Right.
And then just create one, like a couple servers that hosts it. I mean, then you can keep all the games alive.
Yeah. The people that are working to do that on their own, fan made, they're sending them.
They shut that down.
They're shutting that down. So it's a shame that
Nintendo did the same thing.
Yeah. So it's like, it's almost like as if it kind of did happen with Nintendo. Now that you mention it, like they weren't really fostering a competitive community. They weren't really supporting it. I don't see this ending well for them as far as their reputation. But the thing is that I feel like so many people just keep buying the new cards. I just don't see it really.
Yeah, and like they are making Warzone free and stuff.
Right. I don't really
play it.
Yeah, people are still gonna buy it. People are still gonna play it. I just don't see it leaving as much of an impact as I'd hope it would.
It's gonna just become the new norm, and people will forget about it within 2 weeks.
Exactly
how the world works.
Yeah, it's just this is just gaming news at this point, because the same thing kind of happened with Overwatch too. Like they just casually didn't drop PvE.
I heard that news. Yeah, I heard.
They just casually were like, "Oh yeah, by the way, that PvE we kept talking about, just not gonna drop now." Like the fact that they could just get away with it is kind of.
And then they said they were working hard on all that stuff, like, but then the game sucks. Like they didn't.
Right.
Like, what were you working so hard on? At least give us like, oh, this content is huge. What you see here, that's what we were working hard on. Then we could be like, oh, okay. But it's like we don't see anything. You're giving us no work was done.
No, and I don't know. It's all lip service. Like at this point, if they really, like you said, they don't care. If they really cared, they would show that. Maybe they would do like what you said. Maybe drop the Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer. Freaking throw in like a couple of stupid skins. You'll make your money from your skins, but at least like that option is there. Yeah, they just don't care enough.
Or just let people, like, if you're not going to use the IP, why not let other people use the IP? That's what I don't understand. Like,
I don't know. That. I think I don't know the legality behind it, but it's no longer like you bought this game, it is now yours. It's just not the case anymore. It doesn't feel like that, at least. Maybe once upon a time, you bought the PC game, you do whatever you want with it. But now with all those terms of service, terms of use that are in all these games, the lines are getting just tighter and tighter on what you can and cannot do. So,
well, and like I said, one of my favorite games of all time, RuneScape. It was a game that they updated the game so much that it became more of a World of Warcraft style, and the game people hated it for the majority of people. They lost like over half their player base within like a month, and nobody was playing it. 2 or 3 years down the road, someone reverted it to 2007 Scape or old school RuneScape. And it was one of the people that used to work there, so he stopped working there and made that. And then RuneScape's like, no, you can't do that initially because that's our game. But then there was enough people rallying behind it that old school, the company RuneScape, like Jagex, who owns it, they held a poll and they said if it gets 100,000 signatures, they will like update the game. They'll bring the game back. If it gets 200,000 signatures, they'll bring the game back with like 5 people dedicated to work on it. Like certain checkpoints, and their highest checkpoint was like 500,000. They'll have 2 dedicated servers and like 10 people working on it or something. It reached over 1 million signatures, and so then they ended up bringing the entire game back, and like they do updates like I think weekly or monthly that the community votes on whether it goes through or not. So it's community driven, like changes, and like what their team works on is based on what the community thinks. But
that's a crazy story.
Yeah. And
wow.
So it almost wouldn't have been like I would have just not been playing RuneScape for like the rest of my life.
Wow.
But
one of the few cases where the company actually listens to the people.
And first they didn't. They listened to an ex-employee. He started his own
right
like running the RuneScape.
I wonder if that's what it would take. I'm curious. Yeah. Especially at this point.
You can
like,
probably get in a lot of legal trouble though too. So you're just risking it as
right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know what it would take at this point, and maybe they're just too big to even entertain that idea. But
yeah,
like their reputation's just so down the toilet, man.
Well, and like Smash Bros was the same thing. That's like, yeah, their reputation's in the toilet too. But when they had tournaments, they couldn't use, like, it wasn't sanctioned by Nintendo because they would use a mod to make it so like they can play online. The mod was only so that they could play online.
Right.
And they're like, nope, not approved. And they would do that for everything. And it's like, why don't you want people to play your game?
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It's weird. It's like so weird.
Or Nintendo come out with it in an online way, and I'm sure people would use it.
Right. You would think, yeah. And me and Johan were talking about it in the one episode of the podcast. It's like every company almost just continuously misses the mark on where it counts the most. I feel like they could have like released Smash a little broken, maybe with less characters, but just the like decisions behind it hurt it rather than benefit it. It's crazy. Yeah, I don't get it. I've been sticking to indie games. I don't know about you, like, but
I think I've been playing a lot of indie games, especially because prices too.
Yeah.
One game I wanted to get was like Hogwarts, but I haven't, just because my wife would actually play that one.
Really?
But, yeah,
I didn't know she
likes a lot of Harry Potter and stuff. She's not a gamer. She likes Harry Potter a lot.
Ah, that's what sold her.
And her like cousins and stuff are like, yeah, it's so cool. It feels like you're there. And so I know I could get her to play that some, but it's tough. It's I don't buy new games really.
No.
Like if a game's more than $30, I'm probably just not buying it.
Yeah, that's what I used to go by. Like I'm trying to make it out here, so I'll be playing some of the newer games. I don't want to. But
because you're playing did you play the new Star Wars? I know you're playing the old one.
No,
right?
I went back to the old one. The new one, my computer just can't run.
I don't think mine can either. People keep telling me to play it, and I'm like, I don't think I can run that.
No, I can't. It just, the frames are like 2007 RuneScape's better. So yeah, like the frames are just so bad. So I just rather not. But yeah, like there should be no reason why these games cost more than my gas. But here we are.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of one of those things. It's a bittersweet thing because video games haven't gone up that much in the last 20 years. It's gone up maybe $20 from like the Nintendo cartridge to what we have now.
Yeah.
I mean, like, so I can't complain that much, but also, yeah, $70 is more as an adult that I would want to spend on a video game that I may or may not like. I'll wait till it goes down in price.
They were always expensive. I kind of feel for my parents now that I'm older. I'm like,
yeah,
I can't believe I used to ask you for that. Like, you know, like,
yeah. Or you used to get mad at that one game you didn't get out of like the 6 you did get.
No, I'm like, honestly,
I
get it. Do you think you would introduce your child to gaming at all?
I think I want them to, but I would never like force them.
Mm.
I think it'd be cool. Like, except I feel like I'd be the dad that wouldn't let them win. Like you're gonna get good until you'll know when you really beat me.
You're just gonna wreck them and just be like, you will eventually.
I'll try
good.
to teach them if they want to learn. But,
it's an important lesson.
Yeah, but I don't know. I've always been the mindset that if my kid's happy, I don't care what they do.
Right.
If that's playing video games in a basement, or if that's being a lawyer, I don't, being a doctor, whatever. Like I think it's even less about money and more about happiness. Like if they're happy making $40K a year, I'm not gonna be like, well, no, you should be a lawyer.
Right.
No, you should be a doctor. You should be making hundreds of thousands.
Right.
Like, no.
You got to love what you're doing.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically what I do with my job. It's not the highest paying job, but the work-life balance is so good I wouldn't change it,
Oh, yeah, that's beautiful, man. That's the ideal. Yeah, I'm happy for you to hear that. Like, I feel like it kind of reflects on your attitude. Maybe a lot of people might not be happy with where they're at in life, so it may like leak on over to other things, whether it be their attitude or how they treat others. So it definitely reflects.
Well, and there's one of those things that you spend 60% of your life, I think, at your work. And if you're spending 60% of your life hating it,
yeah,
like why?
Yeah,
why? Like you're wasting your life, I feel like. Or if you're spending 60 or it's the alternative where you're just working way too much to make money, and then you don't even get to spend that money.
Right.
Like you're not spending that money to have fun. Like what? I think that's why I think better work-life balance is even better than making a lot of money.
Yeah. Like, so now that you are a graphic designer, like walk us through that. Like, how did you get there, and what inspired you to do that? Did you stumble upon it? Did you always want to do it? Like, how'd that happen?
So in high school, I graduated. I'd say it kind of start there. Graduated, and then my oldest brother was in advertising, like advertising PR. He does like web development now. But after my other brother was in business, and I went to college. I was like, I'll try advertising too, but you kind of just sign up and then do gen eds for the most part. I failed out of college my first year. Keep at it, kids. Wasted a lot of money, but then I was like, if you don't get a certain GPA, you fail out. They don't let you come back to the college. So I went to a community college in the same town. It's city. In the same city, went to a community college, and I was like, well, I'll just take gen eds, and then I'll just wait till my gen eds are done, and then I'll transfer back when I have my grade point average up. And I was like, when I was signing up, you have to choose a major at the community college too. And I was like, okay, what's like they don't have advertising on here. What's like the closest to advertising? Graphic design was. Graphic design was the closest thing to advertising. So I signed up for graphic design, and they said, the thing is, the community college graphic design program was pretty small. It was in like a different town even. Wow. And they said it's a 2-year wait. And I was like, 2-year wait.
How does that happen?
Because there's enough people signed up for the thing, but like they only run one class like every 3 years or something. It's something weird, or like 3 classes every year. Or something.
Yeah.
So then when I was doing my gen eds, I'm like completing the first half of my gen eds. I get a call, and the person's like, hey, they're moving the graphic design program to your town now, like the bigger city from the other city, and they're expanding on it where they're going to have more classrooms. Would you want to move up to join the graphic design program early? And I was like, at first I said, no, I'm good. I think I'm good, because in my mind I was like, I'm going back to college at the university after I finish my gen eds. Then I said, why did I say that? Like in my head, I was like, I immediately had the gut reaction, like, why did I just say that? If I say yes, I could just turn it down later, But instead I said no, and they're just going to close the spot now, or like give it to someone else. I call back, and she says, oh yeah, we just have to call a couple more people to see if they accepted before before now because
they
I
cut
said
you
no.
quick.
They cut me quick, and I was like, crap. Like now I'm like in my heart, I'm like, crap, this sucks.
Yeah.
They call me back and say, okay, yeah, there's still an opening. I get in, and I just loved it. And it was something I feel like I'm really bad. Something I was really bad at school, like at the university, is people they don't care about you because the classrooms are like 500 people. You know, like they don't care about you. And then the the scheduling and using the computer to do all of your own like when to go to class, when home they'll just post homework on the computer and you just have to be ready to look at it every 30 minutes or something, you know, like I don't get that. I could not do that. When I went to the community college classroom of like 25 people, maybe, where the teachers are always constantly, they know you, they're talking to you and like teaching you everything. Like, this is how you do these programs, and this is how you, um, like, have an eye for graphic design, and this is how you draw and how you use Illustrator, Photoshop, InDesign, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like it was more personable and I could actually learn in that environment. And my classes were from 8 to 4 every day.
Mm.
Like, so I was there like a work, like a job.
Right.
And it felt like that learning environment was a lot better for me. And I basically just ended up getting my associates in graphic design. One of the classrooms, one of the classes that I took was called professional practices.
Okay.
And they required a 2-week internship at a job for you to get credits in that class to be able to graduate. And so I got after my 2-week internship, that job offered me a job there while I was still finishing up gen eds in college.
Nice.
So that actually got me like a connection into work, and I worked there for 4.5 years. And then we moved to a different city because my wife finished college there. She was going to the university. She finished college there, so we moved to a different city. It's like 45, 50 minutes away. And then I was commuting every single day, 45 minutes, like every there and back, every single day. And I know that's not a lot to a lot of big city people, but it's like a lot for where I live.
Yeah.
And I was just getting tired of it. I was like, if we're already planning on having kids once we got the house, and I was like, do I want to go to work really early, basically leave when it's dark, get home when it's dark, and only see my kid for 30 minutes to an hour before they have to go to bed at 7, you know? And I was like, I want to find something closer, looked closer. I probably live like 2 to 4 minutes away now. Like,
that's awesome.
I mean, yeah, it's a little bit further, but like, I think it comes over a little more than a mile away. And it's like crazy close.
Yeah.
So that's basically where I am now. But yeah, just being a graphic designer, and I try to implement a lot of what they say is you're not a graphic designer. Like, your graphic design isn't your job, it's your life. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll notice how this text is laid out, like if there's spaces that are too far. But also like implementing it into your life is how a graphic designer should work. Where I was making like logos for a lot of YouTubers, like I mentioned. A lot of smaller creators are, making like just more doing it as hobbies or putting it into your everyday life. I drew like a League of Legends picture using Illustrator for my brother for Christmas like years ago, like a poster, stuff like that. And I think that's what I like about graphic design. Also, it's very, if you ever, I can wear whatever I want to work, as long as it's, you guys know.
Yeah.
As long as it's not like ripped jeans and stuff is probably where the line is at. Like, I'm not wearing a cutoff. So I can wear what I want. I can there's flex time. So if I just don't take a lunch, I can leave an hour early. If I show up late, I can just work late. Stuff like that. So flex time. They're super cool if I need to take off days or work from home some days, like when this carpet was being installed. Can I work from home? Sure, no problem. I think that's the thing, that work-life balance part of it that I like a lot. We have video games at work. I play a lot of Golden Tee at work, like the one with the ball slider.
Yeah.
Like I said, we have Mortal Kombat 3 at work. We have like tons of arcade games and just a cool environment. We have like a big bar and stuff with like a huge TV, stuff like that. And like I can watch YouTube on my phone while just working. Like, how can you beat that for
Yeah,
work?
you can't put a price on that, man. That
And
sounds
I just get to be
almost
creative too.
yeah, and you just got to be creative, which is for a lot of people that's already like a fun environment by itself. But with all that added to it, I'm sure that creates a really ideal environment. I'm happy to hear that, man. That's awesome. Again,
Yeah,
refreshing to hear because so many times like you don't hear that. You just hear, you know, gotta go to work. Work sucks. Do you ever find yourself feeling that way? Probably not.
I mean, like work is always something that you have to. You don't get to do what you want.
Of course, of course.
I don't, you know. But I can like I said, I leave for work at like 8:20. Like, you know, I still get some sleep during the morning and just, you know. So I would say it's a lot less than other people for sure. And like, but everyone's gonna have those days. I would say it's inevitable. Work is work. You know, you're not getting to just sit around and play video games or watch TV or do what you want all the time. But I'd say
you could try to play Smash, but eventually you got to get back and do what you got to do.
Yeah,
that's awesome though. I'm happy to hear that, man. That's cool. Like, it's crazy how like did you always feel like you wanted to do that, or was it something? Because obviously I know, like you said earlier, like, you know, you were trying to do more of the advertising thing. You know, you said the next second best thing was graphic design. So it's good that that worked out for you in that sense that, like, you know what I mean? You ended up picking that. And
the weird thing is, like, I still work for ad agencies. And, like, it's basically you can do what I do with my degree. Or, yeah, you can do what I do with an advertising degree. And you can do what an advertiser does with a graphic design degree.
Right.
If that makes sense. And like, I could be a web developer. I have done a lot of web development too. Like, I could do my brother's job. My brother did advertising. He's a web developer. And so it covers a couple bases. There's like animation, there's film and graphic design, there's like logos and design, like branding design.
Right. It's almost like a web.
And web development design. Yeah. And then there's actual web development. Like, I had to take 5 web development classes. Like,
wow.
I had to take multiple illustration classes, whether that's on paper and then also on the computer, like doing Illustrator. And then you kind of pick the routes that fit you. Yeah. So
yeah, that's cool. Like, it's almost like it's all under the same umbrella. That's neat. That's neat. Would you recommend it to someone as a degree?
I would 100% if it's just something you feel, but I know everyone will feel different.
Right.
I'd say you're not like impacting the most lives, you know. Like, if you want to help people, I think there's better jobs, like being a firefighter, being a nurse or a doctor. You know, there's plenty of other jobs that you could do. There are really cool things about my type of job is seeing your creation out in the real world.
Yeah.
Like, I made like a donut company logo, and it was like at all the gas stations. So I was like, oh, I heard these are the best logos or the best donuts every time we went in. I'd say to my friends or family, I'd be like, oh, these are the best donuts.
Yeah.
It's because I made the logo.
Yeah,
It was fun to see. Like, see
that's very rewarding. Yeah.
Or I went to my friend's girlfriend was in art school, and she had a gallery showing at a museum, a gallery showing. And so I went with my friends, and something I designed for one of our clients, like, it was on the bulletin board. And I was like, whoa, my art's in the art museum too. I was like, my work right here. I was like, does anyone want signatures? And they're like, stuff like that.
This is the famous artiste.
Yeah, mine was an ad. Was an ad for like some. It was for an art thing that they sell, like art for some charity stuff. So
right. Do you have to work with artists when doing that type of stuff, or is it all like just on you?
As far as what?
in terms of like making certain designs, it's all on you. There's no like artist work or anything like that. Like it's 100% you.
Like at my job currently, there's only 2 designers, so it's basically me and her. So
So how does that process work? Are you like hands-on drawing? Are you computer drawing? Or
I
you
would say
just
it's a lot less drawing, like because I'm not like a illustrator nearly as much.
that would be the difference
I
between the two? Okay.
I am more like I would say at my job currently, I design a lot of websites. So
Okay. Okay.
for companies, so
Right.
like I'm trying to think of ones that I could like maybe like medical companies I've done like a farmer's market company that we just did like for a new farmer market.
Do they
Um,
tell you like a specification, or you kind of have like mostly
yeah,
like
they kind of fill out like a sheet of what they like, you know, or
mm,
want, or like, um, and if they don't have much information, we'll kind of pull stuff from the internet, like pictures. We'll pull stock photos and kind of then we'll be like, okay, once you provide us photos, we can replace them. But you know, we design it to the best of our ability. If they have a website and they're just looking for a redesign, we can usually pull stuff from their current website. Logos, we do. I've done logos, like I was saying, which is just like if that's kind of illustration. And the thing that's hard about that illustration is you need to know how to work your tools because you don't see a logo have like an S that has a really big like weird bump or bumps on it, you know?
yeah,
You need a smooth S.
yeah,
You know, like so you need to know how to use your tools to make cuts almost
yeah.
to make sure the shapes are like perfect. But I would say
Interesting.
that's the hardest thing about logo design that people
Don't understand. Yeah,
beginning won't understand for sure.
I know a little bit about like web dev. Um,
Yeah.
is it mainly JavaScript that you're using? Is it mainly
So
C
I
sharp?
don't develop. We actually have developers at my work that we just basically pass the designs off to right now. But
Okay.
at my last job that I worked like 4.5 years, we use WordPress templates. It's called Divi,
Okay.
but we use the WordPress template, which made it a lot easier. And then you basically use like CSS and more design stuff as far as to change the template more. But
Okay.
the build is kind of done for you, if that makes
Okay.
sense.
Yeah, it does. It
But
does.
but my learning, we had to start at HTML like 1 and then basically learn up to HTML 5 and be able to code websites just using HTML
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Of course.
CSS and stuff. And then like Java if you want to add stuff. And then the last class we had to build our own website, like our portfolio website,
Yeah.
and just so we could be able to apply at jobs.
Of
And then
course.
they dabbled into like WordPress and templates. There are like HTML templates called like there's 2 of them. I forget Bootstrap's one, and there's a different one. I don't remember the name of it because I haven't used it in so long.
It's all right. It's all right.
But basically, it just builds like columns for you and
Okay.
structures. You just copy and paste the code and then fill
Right.
in like what you want.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
there's easier ways to do, but you kind of need to know the basics before you do that. Just like hop straight into it.
Yeah. 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 And that was something that you said like that's something that you had to learn for your job in order to continue forth on it, or is it something you decided to do on your own?
I've definitely like I never learned like the WordPress templates that I used, so I
Mm-hmm.
kind of had to kind of learn that at the job or as I went.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, there's a good web developer that I could ask a lot of questions to.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if I was
Yeah.
like, I'm stuck, what do I do? And then my brother being a web developer, and I know he's hopped jobs like 3 or 4 times. He had to learn different programs for like each job because they each use different ones. So it is something you have to be adaptive towards.
Right.
And even in graphic design, the things people like and I'm trying to find the right word for it, but it's always changing.
Mm.
Like people don't, you know, a typeface might be in for a little while and then it's out. And like
Mm.
websites need to be changed every 3 to 5 years because otherwise it's old news. And
Mm.
yeah, you just always need to keep up on the industry because things are always changing. But
Do you like it? Would you ever change it? Have you ever considered it, or do you feel pretty
honestly,
comfortable?
don't know what I would do.
Right. Right.
What
Right.
else?
Right.
I don't know what else I would do. I mean, I don't know.
Never
Like
thought of it.
I've worked I worked in a meat department. I worked at like normal grocery store stuff. I've done worked at a bookstore. I've worked in like the post office of the bookstore, so working with postal. Um, yeah, I've done a couple jobs, but
Nothing
this
really
like this
spoke to
is
you. Like,
this is my favorite. Yeah,
yeah, that must feel good. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Like I would say it's the least dreadful. Like what you're saying.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. Like whatever brings you. Yeah, exactly. Like
I
work
think like
is.
a lot of people in construction. What do you do?
I can't say too much, but
Okay, that's
I
fine.
no, that's okay. But I work for the government. Let's put it that way.
Okay,
It's a little.
Secret Service,
Yeah, right.
FBI.
I think it's good to hear, that you're while work is still being work, it's like you said, less dreadful.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating. I never spoke to a graphic designer, so I feel like I'm learning. Like it's very cool.
It's one of those jobs that once you tell people, especially like online YouTube, people are like, "Oh, can you do a
Immediately,
backdrop
yeah.
for me? Can you even do a
Yeah,
logo for
yeah.
me?" And you're like,
How do you receive that? Do you get annoyed, or do you feel like, oh, this is a good
I used
opportunity?
to not get annoyed, and I used to just want to help people out. It's like what I was saying, like people, it's more than a job; it's a lifestyle type thing, and you should be implementing it into your lifestyle. I've gotten a little bit more jaded with it because I would have people like I would work back and forth with people like trying to make their logo what they wanted and what they like, and I never made people pay.
Mm,
I always said, I'm not going to make you pay, but kind of let me work on my own time, you know,
mm,
so don't expect it this week. And if I was charging you, I would get it done this week type thing. That's why I'm not charging you. Give me a couple weeks and I'll get it done.
yeah.
But the thing that got
Shocking that
me,
the hardest
yeah,
part of it is people. Shocking.
yeah. The thing that got me really jaded though is people would be like, "Can you design a logo for me?" And I spend hours, you know, anywhere from 2 to 8 hours making you a logo,
Yeah.
and then they use it like for a week,
Mm.
and I feel like I wasted my time. I'm like, do you not care about my time at that point?
Right, right, right. Have you do you still struggle with that?
I would say I just get more jaded by it, and I am more likely to vent the people that I would be making logos for or doing work for.
Mhm.
I still probably like if you wanted something, I'd do something for you, but I wouldn't like I wouldn't charge for it still, and it'd be kind of on my own time. But I would trust that you would use it. Like I don't think or like you'd use it for a reasonable amount of time. But when someone changes it like a week after, and I'm like, you made me spend 8 hours on this, you know.
Yeah, it feels like a stab in the back.
And they don't replace it like either with another logo. They just like replace it with like an anime picture, and I'm like, what was the point of asking me then? Or it's like if you didn't like something, you could have told me, and then
Yeah.
I would have made it the way you wanted. But I feel like they just decided they don't want that anymore, and I'm like, then you should have told me that. You should have asked.
Yeah.
You
I
should have
know
got that
over
figured out.
time, cuz how do I say this? I've always been fascinated by folks like you who create these designs. So I used to almost feel like I'm insulting by correcting you. But I started realize very quickly, especially when I started like buying art to like put onto my channel or to other things. No, it's actually like how it should be. It's not an insult.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually like from my experience. I mean, maybe you may be different, but they almost are more happy to give you your vision rather than take it as an insult as to their work. I don't know if you would agree or disagree. Like, what's your
The first thing we tell people, like people ask us our process at work,
yeah?
and like for like websites, especially because people just don't understand how do you go from zero to a website. And the thing is, like, but me and the other designer will kind of do two designs of websites and be like, what do you like? What do you not like? What could we combine that you like? Like, if you like parts of theirs and parts of ours, and we can kind of Frankenstein it into what you want. Um, the first thing we tell them after telling them, like, yeah, we'll do these designs, and what you need to tell us, you have to hate it. Like, you have to tell us everything you do not like,
Mm,
because if we like, it creates an environment that you're not doing 15 iterations because they're scared to point out that one thing, and they're scared to point out that one thing. And then they're like, you're like, oh, you didn't know they didn't like green, and but they're afraid to say it. It's like, just say it.
Yeah.
We can make exactly what you said. Like, it takes us, an hour to do exactly what you say. But if you say, we want this, and then come back the next time that we send it back to you, now we want this changed because we were unsure about it.
Yeah.
Tell us. And a lot of the time, like, if they're unsure about something, I'll give them options. I'll do 4 or 5 different options, being like, what do you think of these? And they're like, oh, that one is what we're thinking.
So for you, like, you've never took it personal when someone like corrected your work? You never were like...
I would say in school I did, but I was just younger, and it was mostly other designers being like, the thing that made me mad was we would have to, it was forced critique, right?
Yeah.
So I would design something and it'd be for me. And then someone would be like, well, you could try adding waves to it or something. And then I would add waves to it. And then the teacher would downgrade me, and they'd be like, waves too much.
You're like,
and I'd be like, they told me.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, because my heart goes out to you guys because like I feel like you got not always, but I guess like if it's your own creative work, you're kind of throwing a piece of yourself out there, which is something that I feel like a lot of people don't understand. So I try to be like a little more sensitive about that. But I guess like when it's a working environment and someone's making something for me, maybe I'm a little more harsher, because obviously I want it to be the way I want it to look. But I know like when artistic folks like yourself and others who make something and they throw it out there, I try to like navigate that a little more carefully, because it's like a part of yourself almost. I don't know if that makes sense, if you would agree or disagree, but
I would say I think that more of things I was doing for myself. Like if someone was critiquing something that like, and they weren't giving good critique, they're just giving critique to critique. They're like, oh, that drawing's crappy, or what? Why is that? I think I'd be more annoyed. But when someone's paying for something, I have the understanding that they want what they want. And I know what good design is, and what you're paying me is for my knowledge and my ability to make it. But if you don't want to take that, I don't care. Like, if you're paying me out of pocket and you just want what you want, and I know it's bad, I'll tell you, oh, I don't think we should do that, or I think you should shy away from that. But we can do it if you want it that way.
Right.
If I gave you the information and that's what you want to do, at the end of the day, I don't care.
Yeah.
And mostly we're doing like work for companies, so it's like I get it. Especially the hardest thing with companies is logos, like because people have a vision, but they don't know how to express it. And a lot of the time they don't know what they want, but they'll know when they see it.
Yeah, so that's hard to navigate, because it's like, okay, well, that can mean 99 different things.
Darts at the wall.
Yeah. But that's good. I'm sure it takes a ample amount of patience that you gain over time to kind of understand what to expect, what not. Has there ever been a client who was like just wasn't connecting with you, and you were just like, man, I just can't wait to...
A couple things, I guess. I had one client. What was it? One client sent me like a change, and I made the change and like sent it right back. And then he's like, oh, you missed, like, there's like a second page with some changes or something, right? Or I made like the changes and sent it back right back within like 3 minutes. Like I'm saying, like I did it like instantaneous. Here you go. Sorry about that. And then he wrote like a haiku, because saying like it's something like the waves rode high and crashed low for the expectations or something about me, sent it to my boss and didn't talk to me because I missed the second page of changes like on a PDF.
Wait.
And it was like
he sent that haiku
to my boss, not to me either. Like about me to my boss, saying that like the expectations were high and they crashed low. And I was like, you son of a gun. Like I wouldn't have cared if you said it to me.
What?
But also you go behind my back and do that. And then the funny thing is he ended up like leaving that company later, because he was like kind of their marketing person. And he was working for like another company that kind of did like work with us, but he kept up with that company's like designs, just like looking how they were. And he's talking to me, he's like, oh, those designs like look really good. You guys are doing a really good job. And in my head, I'm like, you son of, because I never told him that I knew that he wrote the haiku because my boss told me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you son of a gun, because
You're a little
like I
snake.
know my work's good.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
but you went behind my back to make me look bad right away.
Crazy.
And that I would say that made me mad. And then there was a person who was just like he was. I could get his designs right always, and he was like, he wasn't like a difficult client in that sense, but he was like a jerk, like almost like just not a fun person to work with. And it got to the point where I was like, I even talked to my bosses. I was like, his company's gonna fail. Like I said, he's such a jerk that I don't believe in his company, so I hate doing designs for it.
Yeah.
Like essentially.
That's what I was curious about.
And my bosses were like, well, he's paying us, so you do it. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I know, but I hate it. Like, you know, respect. The weird thing is, and I don't want this, don't like, I don't want this to be like a caveat, but he got a divorce and then ended up being super nice all the time. And then he was super easy to work with. But I mean, it's not like, hey, get divorced.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. It's more like
for him, he must have not been in a happy relationship or something. And
maybe he realized, like, hey, I am a little mean.
It was crazy how much he flipped. I was like, oh, okay, like I actually like doing this stuff now. That's weird.
That's what it took for him to wake up.
I'd say for the most part, they're easy though, or nice. And
that's good. Yeah, I was always curious about that. Like, if there's ever any, like,
and those were both at my last job, so it's not on anyone.
Yeah.
Anyone now, but
no worries. I was always wondering if there was always like a moral conflict with those types of jobs. Like, if you ever like,
oh yeah, there is weird stuff.
Right.
Like, so I usually try to like people's Facebook or social medias that are our clients because I try to support them. Because you scratch my back, I scratch yours type thing. You're paying.
Is that like an unwritten code, or is that...
You don't have to.
Okay.
I just tried, and sometimes I would run some social media accounts, so it was nice, get that extra engagement.
Yeah.
But we ended up like getting some political people running for political positions, and I was like, I don't know what these people stand for at all.
Right.
Like, I can't go around like, and not that they stood for bad things. I had no idea.
You just don't know.
I can't go supporting them in a way like, but in the sense that I'm still doing their work. Like, if people were more political in my position, it could get itchy, I'm sure. Like, if you knew so-and-so didn't agree with you and you had to make their website, I'm sure that could be.
I feel like that's more of a reflection of the culture than it is of the job, though.
Yeah, like I'm gonna have to make a website though, regardless. I don't gonna be like, no, I hate that person.
Yeah, like it has nothing to do with you, though. I think, but unfortunately, we live in a climate where like you like one person's tweet or you like one person's video or photo, and then that automatically reflects upon you, and it's just so disconnected from reality.
And I'll have to give you, I mean. And I can't really say stuff now because there's like clients now that are high. I'll tell you after. There's a client now that doesn't necessarily do everything moral, or like how they got money wasn't morally right. But
right.
Also, they fund like tons of my job too. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess that's but I'll write a note to tell you after we close off the video.
Yeah. I'll cut that part. I got you.
No, I mean, I was just gonna tell you the name.
The name. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Unless you wanted me to tell you now, and then you just want to clip it.
No.
Okay.
Let's save it for after. So it's.
I was just gonna.
The least.
Here, wait. I can message you.
Okay.
On Discord.
Sure. Yeah, we'll talk about it after. We're about to wrap up anyway. But yeah, I mean. When it comes to that type of stuff, do you feel like it may, or I guess it would affect your create? I guess with over time, probably it wouldn't mess with your creative process. But everyone that I know that is like a creator type, they may find themselves like in front of a wall, writer's block. I don't know if artists have a word for it, but
there's definitely that.
Yeah.
Especially. Something that me and the other designer do is like, do not look at each other's designs because you will get locked on their idea so hard, like, and you won't be able to like think of a new one.
Yeah.
And I think that same like looking up inspiration sometimes. My teacher said it well that like you don't really come up with new ideas. Most things have been done, and most things are pulled inspiration from your lived experiences and stuff.
Yeah.
So ultimately, like if I'm designing a website, I will look up like what's the like give me 100 different like I'll pull little bits of websites that I like, Frankenstein it together, and then build it from that.
Yeah.
And because it's not plagiarizing if you're taking parts from a lot of things, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
But if you're taking just this one website here that I liked and just slapping it on, that's you're plagiarizing. You're stealing straight from
Yeah, straight from the
something.
yeah.
Even if you change the photos and the content.
Yeah.
But if you're taking like, oh, I like that header and I like that like section and I like that footer on all different websites or different, and then also doing the content and the colors and the pictures, and so there's easier ways around it that like if you got writer's block, and sometimes we'll just kind of do it off the top of our head like, oh yeah, I have an idea already, you know. I know what that I want that to look like, but you can always just like go look up for inspiration if you're like blocked. You're like, what did other people do? And a lot of the time we'll say, what competitors do you like? We'll ask them that. So we can get an idea of what are the other people doing.
Right. Okay. That's really neat, man. I mean, like I said, I don't really get the opportunity to talk to folks in your line of work, so it's fascinating to learn, and I appreciate you sharing. So you've always played games, you told me, even despite like the difference between your mom and pop and how they felt about it.
My brothers did too. So.
Okay. Oh, really? They weren't fans of it either.
No, they played games.
Oh, okay.
They played games.
Any games you're looking forward to, or have you felt like there's been a bit of a dry spell?
I don't know. I don't know if I'm just getting old and no new games sound that fun to me. Right. It's gonna be like that. I mean,
it probably is that, by the way. Just so you know, because
I'm getting older.
Yeah, well, that and no, I was just gonna say like, kind of like what I spoke about before. Like, it could be your state of mind, your state of life, and where you're at. That it's not necessarily the games maybe are bad or nothing's really speaking to you. It could be just your interests change. And I just want you to know that's okay. And I respect that you're reassessing what's important. I respect that you're redirecting what means to you. And I think that that's important because we shouldn't neglect, what's really important in our lives. And I hope to do the same thing, with this. It's been a lot of long days. Editing, making shorts, doing live streams. Sometimes you got to take back. So I'm gonna be off when this comes out. I'm not streaming. I'm taking 2 weeks off. It's a whole lot more than I actually need, but I feel like it's a long overdue. And so, I relate to that, and I think you're doing the right thing.
I just have spurts too. I think like I'm like Rocket League all day. I can't wait to get home and play Rocket League, and then I have spurts where I'm like, nothing sounds fun. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Like nothing sounds fun. And then like a game that you asked about games that I'd be excited for, and my brother said Sons of the Forest they need to make updates to, but because it's kind of in an alpha or beta stage. It is out, but we're kind of reluctant to buy it until we get that figured out a little bit more. But I'd be excited about that, I think. I don't know. I got Cyberpunk and was really disappointed. So I haven't really bought new games.
Yeah. That's a little bit of a delayed response there, but so you played it recently and it's really just like still kind of mid?
No, I mean I got it a little while ago, but like a year ago maybe.
You were just kind of sitting on it. When'd you play it?
Probably a year ago.
And you were like,
Yeah. I was still underhyped, and people were like, well, they improved it a lot, and I was like, I don't know. Oh, GTA 6 would be that would get me back into gaming a lot.
Yeah. I'm sure the viewership,
I think that's years out.
The content creation, the enthusiasm will be through the roof when that drops, because I just feel like
Did you see the leaked play?
I did not.
They might still have it.
I would be interested in seeing it.
It's crazy. It's pretty crazy.
It's really good.
Yeah, it got leaked, so you might have to dig a little bit for it. I don't know if they took it all down or not, but
yeah, I mean, I know people are getting like sued out of their freaking ass for that. Yeah, like
it looked like really realistic, pretty realistic, like GTA 5, but more realistic. and then like I think there's a lot more like the thing that they show in the video is how they code it, so you can see like all the lines of like where the gun is being pointed and stuff, like you know, as the line goes.
That's fascinating.
It seems like really realistic. I haven't watched it in a little while, so I would give you more information on it.
Yeah, no, man.
Definitely something you should check out.
Absolutely.
Like, it makes me excited. But
okay, there you go.
It still feels so far out.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You can tell it's kind of beginner stages.
I'm sure when it comes out, it'll be the right moment. Maybe like in the middle or end of PS5 cycle, and you know things are starting to kind of dry up a little bit. We'll see, but that's good to hear that at least you have a little optimism towards gaming. I don't want you to lose it completely. But
I will. I'm always gonna be a gamer.
Yeah, same. It's almost hard to like disconnect from it unless something like seriously drastic changes in your life to where like you literally can't even sit down and play. You know, so it's good.
Well, and like I have a Discord server where I play with my friends. Like I hang out with my friend every Friday.
Nice.
And we play RuneScape all night pretty much, but it almost just comes down to like reading chat is like being on a phone the entire time while you're playing a game, you know? And that's the thing that I think wears me down too.
Yeah, it's a different form of communicating because it's hard to deliver like sarcasm jokes. It's hard to deliver intent over text.
Or sometimes you feel like you're repeating the same stuff because new people show up. How are you doing? How are you doing? You know?
Yeah.
And then you just feel like worn out after the day.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, I was just playing games, but I feel like I was talking for 3 hours.
Right.
Mentally draining.
Yeah. I hear you. I get it, man. You have to almost be like a showman. Like you have to repeat what's the show multiple times. Like you ever see
what's the code? My level.
It's like every you know how you ever seen the show Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yes.
It's like you have to say the intro of that show every commercial break.
Yeah.
Welcome to Whose Line Is It Anyway? Hey, what's up? What are we doing? Welcome to Whose Line Is It Anyway? You know what I mean? Like you're not
I'm Jim Carrey. Drew Carrey. What a go. My bad.
No, you go. So
I love Jim Carrey too, but yes, Drew Carrey.
Yeah, I know what you mean. You good, my brother? You're safe here. Yeah. I will not bash you here.
Yes.
But thanks for coming, man. This was cool. So yeah, thanks for coming, man.
Thanks for having me.
Anything else you want to add? Anything you want to plug? Anything you want to let the people know before you sign out, man?
No, just have a good week and live your best life.
Live your best life. Love it. All right, man. Yo, take care, bro. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate you.
It's been nice meeting you, finally.
Hey, I'm here for you anytime. Door's always open, so.
Same.
Clean, Mr. Clean, fuck that shit. I'm the dean on how to spit. Class in session, your obsession is depressing. You be stressing, I'm impressing. Keep you guessing, learn your lesson, asking questions. How'd you get your clout? Haters hate but never doubt, bitch. Wishing you were me, dreaming you were me, thinking you were me. You will never be me, never be me. The crown is mine now, don't get mistaken. Come around acting tough, but y'all be faking. This isn't make-believe, y'all be acting up, but only fools I see. While I drink my cup, put on a show. Show me what you got. Your shit is so bad, I need another shot.